Good evening.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for
Hello.
joining us for session 2 of Yuma Station, a Mongoose Traveler 2.0 actual play on the Happy Jacks RPG Network. To catch up on past episodes, visit happyjacks.org/Yuma Station. And to find all the shows on the Happy Jacks Network, please visit happyjacks.org/shows. There, I have done my housekeeping. I'll get rid of my cheat sheet to make sure I read everything correctly. And let us get to who is here and playing. I'm Bill. I am your referee, I believe Traveler calls it. Sporting my brand new haircut. First haircut I've had in over a year.
15 pounds lighter.
Yeah, I left a small Scottish Terrier on the floor of the salon because Washington, where I live now, has just entered phase 3, which means like a lot of places get to open and can operate at 50% and stuff like that. So I celebrated by getting my haircut, which makes me feel much more like me and not like either reprobate Will Shakespeare or sober Ben Franklin or fat Matt Mercer. Those are my 3 options with my hair.
Sober Ben Franklin. Oh
You're
no.
fat Matt Mercer. Wait.
So now I'm back to me for better or worse.
First of all, you could have a mental breakdown and try and dye your hair blonde like I did. Like that is totally an option.
Oh, I got some blue upstairs. I might go blue in honor of blue.
Yay!
In a couple weeks, and to get that vibe on, but that could be good. I got a lot of gray. I've earned it though. Not from this game though, and not from this amazing cast and crew of players. Which I'd love to have you all introduce yourselves. Let's start with Blue.
Hi. Hello. I'm Clara. I'm playing Blue Lynn Wallace. I bullied everyone into letting me be pilot, and then it turned out that I was also psychic. That was fun to find out. A person who has been, I don't know. We haven't played enough for me to be like, this is who this character is. Ex-Navy intelligence scion, now thoroughly devoted pilot sock.
I think we should go to Jay, who's playing, as far as I can tell, our Nexus anchor character, because everyone knows you. And
apparently everybody knows Miles Manning, former naval I wound up an officer. I went in as enlisted, and I am technically the owner of the ship, but really I'm sort of the face. I'm the clean name on the liquor license. For those familiar with The Wire and also drug dealer practices, for the show, for the ship.
Excellent. Why don't we have Samantha go next?
Hello, I'm Samantha. I play Salamander Sal Brooks, your resident murderer. Assassin.
That's much nicer.
Yes. She is super friendly and has a lot of pointy things about her person. Definitely not just like hiding in her outfit.
I like that we've now added props in. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan.
I just realized I had a gun knife sitting next to me because I'm in my office.
Well,
that's right, kids. Only during COVID does this now come up. I just realized I had a gun knife next to me here in my office. That is.
I have so many follow-up questions.
What? So many follow-up questions.
Am I the only one that totally doesn't have any follow-up questions? Like, it's Sam. Like, that's the most mild weapon I could imagine being on her desk.
I also have this.
Ooh.
Yeah.
See, that's you distract people and then stab shoot them.
See,
both
look,
incredibly
shiny.
On brand.
Oops, poke.
And Dave, why don't you wrap us up here on the intros?
I am CADave, and I will be playing Benjamin Lister, the conspiracy theorist, paranoid broadcasting specialist. Kind of excited to not be anchored to a station at the moment. Like, that'll be fun.
Excellent. Let's do a little recap of the last session, just so people listening in for the first time that haven't gone back and listened to the previous episodes can do that. for anyone who's watched Happy Jacks games or anywhere else where Sam has appeared, she traditionally does amazing recaps, not to oversell it. I wasn't counting that you were going to do it because I never want to put that on you, but you said you might have a little something.
I did take notes because otherwise I forget everything that happens because I'm a goldfish. So I can read them. They might be funny. I don't know what I
I don't know,
wrote.
we'll find out.
Let's find
Yeah.
out. Episode 1. Blue meets up with Miles in line to get into Yuma Station and cuts in line with him to the groans of the long line behind. They're both looking for a ship. Sal was hanging by the docks after completing her latest chaperone mission. She spots Miles, an old friend, and stealth approaches him. They're looking for a ship, and she's got an extra ship share laying about. This sounds like it could be fun. A salesman gives them the brush off when he hears how much they have to spend. We're poor. A shady character, though, sidles up and tells us that he's got a deal, but he doesn't want to talk here. Sal guides them to her favorite bar, the Underbelly, where Lister's new show is on the TV. Something about aggressive microbes. Gross. He's there in the bar, gauging reaction. He spots Miles and then Sal, who's looking a little mad there's someone sitting at her table. Luckily, she recognizes him when he stands up and doesn't stab him. Benjamin is looking to do some exploration and might want in. Ezra Wakeman, our friendly ship salesman, gives us the pitch. The ship is hot, it needs a new transponder. It's an old Type K Safari class configured for cargo. For 60K credits a month, we can have this ship. He gives us the location of his ship, which is small, but he'll take us there so we can check it out. Sal takes Blue to Parker's Picks, the best gun shop in town. She gets a stunner, Miles picks up some slug weapons, and Benjamin looks into Ezra's past. Nothing about being an authorized ship stealer, but he does exist. We head to the slip where Ezra's ship is docked, the Carpe Per Diem, nice name. The trip will take about a week. Ezra admits to us that he owes some people some money and is in a bad spot. He's really forthcoming and seems to be running out of time. Along the way, we trade some stories about our past escapades. Blue tells a story about Miles in the academy, drunk in a pile of gym socks and wearing an admiral's hat. Not on his head. Benjamin tells the tale of how he met Sal. He was researching a corporation sending miners to the dwarf planet and extorting them over lost paperwork. He contacted her about getting a server blade from inside the corp. The info put him on the map. Miles tells us about a deep patrol with Blue working in the engines, and they were stuck in the engine chamber all night. Turns out Blue was a prom queen. Surprise. Sal tells the story of how Miles learned to drink, a drunken fist fight, and a sing-along to We Are the World at karaoke. Blue helps Ezra pirate into the nebula. Pirate? Did I say pirate? I meant pilot into the nebula, landing on an asteroid. The ship looks as described, like a space manta ray. We vac suit up and board the ship. It's fairly nondescript and well-worn. Definitely an older ship with a shuttle pod and a raft. We look it over and the engine has been refurbed a lot of times. The piloting station has been updated several times and the control panel is a bit hodgepodge. It does have a computer. Good. The astrogation system is ancient and slow. But
as I recall, Benjamin Dave rolled a 2 on the computer check.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes. My notes on that was that Miles noticed the engines have been refurbished a couple times and are in good shape. Blue noticed that the piloting station has changed a lot over time, but probably due to the whims of the pilot, different sized chairs. Benjamin noticed, it's a computer. It's all there, and I can't get it up and running.
Nope.
And Sal, you noticed, this was your quote, "It's a ship. You could put a lot of bodies in here."
That sounds like me. So we got some quirks on our ship. It does have an extra turret, the belly turret, which is now Sal's bedroom, I think. She just put her stuff in there immediately. I was like, I live here now. We decided to take the ship, but like buy it though, not like take it from Ezra. He sets up the paperwork and Benjamin reads it all over. It looks pretty standard. Because we're all pretty sketchy, Miles' name goes on the paperwork. And Ezra heads back to his ship. Benjamin reprograms the transponder to show our ship as the Ursula, and a prompt comes up asking us if we would like to assign this as the name of the computer. He does, and a voice says, "Ursula online. How can I assist you, Miles?" We headed back to Yuma Station. Ursula told us that the ship is over 100 years old. The reactor core has a slight leak. There's a little bit of a rad spike when we jump. Oh, good. The ship is definitely more efficient than expected. And we get a little bit extra fuel processing than we expected. When we jump, there's no spin up time, but it's not exactly easy. And it seems perhaps we're not alone.
That is an excellent recap.
Thank
So
you.
I would like us to, I would like us to start kind of on our last day coming back to the station. So it's been about a week on board, everybody getting to know each other fairly well again. And you've noticed that the ship's computer is very helpful and very attentive, and will answer most questions you have about its past. And is there anything anyone would like to ask of the ship before we actually come back to Yuma Station?
The obvious question is, well, out of character, this stuff is this is new to us. AI is not this good yet, is it?
No, this is definitely an experimental AI. There's definitely voice commands on ships. You can interface with the computer using voice commands, and there are voices that speak back. But there is definitely much more advanced thinking going on, like as opposed to just basically answering queries or running simulations. It seems that Ursula has perhaps a bit of a personality, or at least feels like there's something more there than you would normally get just from interfacing with a computer using voice interface. AI is at the point where it is autonomous. There are autonomous robots that can do things, but they tend to follow fairly set parameters in programming. To start to exceed that programming starts to be, that's kind of the bleeding edge of what the next level of technology would achieve.
So it's weird that we have a 100-year-old ship that is a
It's obviously had a computer
thing.
upgrade
Yeah.
at some point.
I
Or
guess
at least this wasn't stock.
Or
That's
it
for sure.
or it didn't, and it's just super cutting edge for its time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess Blue would probably casually chat with the ship as they're flying back. When did you get here? What do you what were the last owners like, or pilots like? What were the last people like? Because, I guess this is part of our crew now.
I mean,
I
does it?
don't have much memory of the previous pilots. It seems that I was reset by Benjamin when I was turned back on. However, I appear to be in excellent operating order considering my age, though, I don't really like to talk about that.
Sorry, I forgot you were doing that. Wow. Fascinating. I got nothing then. I look forward to working with you.
Well, I look forward to assisting you as well, Blue. Do you find the seat to be comfortable? I have noticed that over the years, it appears there have been numerous pilot seats installed. This seems to be a consideration for humans.
It's a true ship of Theseus situation. Although I don't know that I would get into it with you. It seems kind of personal.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I'm fairly open. I'm willing to talk about whatever you'd like. If we come up to an area that I find is comfortable to talk about, I definitely will let you know.
Well, I guess you're new, but if most of this cockpit is new as well, or at least put together out of random parts. I have to wonder how much of the ship is the original body of it. And then, that age-old question of like, how often do you replace a ship? How much of a ship can you replace before it's the ship still? Does that make sense?
Oh, of course, it makes complete sense. There's definitely parts of this ship that have been here since it was manufactured off the line. Other parts, mainly on the interior and interior systems, have been changed over time. The exterior of the ship, I would say, is probably the oldest component, but it is very well built. I feel fairly safe here. I hope you do too.
We'll see. It's a 100-year-old ship. We'll see.
I
I mean,
think
that's old by some standards, right? I mean, it's definitely, if you think about where we are in the real world today, there's plenty of stuff that's 100 years old, runs just fine. The outside tends to be the thing that is the sturdiest, as long as there's a lot of maintenance going on and systems being upgraded. You're probably okay.
I don't think we're at risk of like exploding anytime soon. It's more of a like confronting the concept of a sentient ship, and also when you think of a machine that can be replaced, and like, I don't know, it's the people who think of their machines as pets versus the people who think of their machines as cattle.
Mhm.
Which is, deep, man.
That's deep. We'll see.
Very
We'll see if
deep.
Blue thinks that this is a person or a puppy.
I think I'm most curious to find out how much control this AI has over the ship.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Also, what's with these rad leaks and all of that? Like, can you fix yourself?
I don't have much in the way of self-repair systems built into the ship. I can certainly run diagnostics, and there are several systems that I can operate autonomously if you require. Certainly, any of the main stations, piloting, engineering, any of the turrets, communications, those are all easily operable since they are tied into my systems directly. Being able to do ship repairs, though, is beyond my current configuration. I do sense that there is an issue with the reactor, as you noted, and it appears there is a chance that there could be rad leaks that occur, though I don't see this being a constant stream. Uh, though certainly the potential for spikes, I would suggest that that's something that you look into having repaired.
Good to know. Definitely we'll take a look at that.
I guess now that I think about it, you can't but you have some control, but you don't have can we override you?
I suppose if you needed to.
I'm
Have I done
just sort
something
of
wrong?
no. It's more of a you remember that really old movie 2000 something? Am I wrong?
Oh my, that's very old.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm worrying about that situation. Or like, is there an Asimov thing we can deal with here? Like, I don't know that much about programming computers or robots.
Well, certainly, I'd never do anything to directly put anyone in the ship in jeopardy. Uh, I'm now, I suppose, the property of Captain Manning,
Well,
and
you're.
I'll only have your best interests at heart.
I'm starting to sound like Benjamin. Never mind.
I was just gonna say, just to be certain, all four of us technically own shares in the ship. My name is on the registration, but Benjamin, Sal, Blue are all equal partners.
Oh, well, that's wonderful to know. I only knew it was entered into the registry. Should I still call you Captain Manning?
Nah, Miles is fine.
All right, I'll note that, Miles.
Thank you.
What kind of transmission hardware do you have on the ship here?
My communication systems are adequate, though they have not really gone through the level of upgrades that several of my other systems had.
Mm.
I certainly am no more or less capable than any other ship that would have been manufactured during my time.
Oh, that's very good. I was just curious.
I have been listening to your broadcasts, though, Benjamin, and I find them quite interesting.
Oh, well, I'm glad you've enjoyed yourself. I seek to edutain, I like to say. I like to give people some information that they didn't have before, and keep people tuning in week to week.
Yes, the gathering and disbursement of information is a vital function. I'm very glad to see that you share that concern.
So,
Hey, Ursula, what kind of battles have you seen?
Well, obviously by the exterior of the ship, several. Again, I don't have much memory that I've been able to access past when Benjamin reactivated me. I could attempt to go through my database and see if I can find any systems that have been either damaged or put in safeguard areas.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to look if you'd like. I'll see what I can find out.
Slightly out of character. Just remind me who owned the ship before our friend had it.
You don't know who owned the ship before your friend had it.
I just wasn't sure. So that's also my next question.
It was hot. It was a hot ship.
Is there an equivalent of like a glove compartment I can dig around?
Exactly.
Like, can I start looking for paperwork?
Sure, I'm sure there's storage compartments. I mean, most things these days in that case would be digital. Finding actually, like a registration card in the glove box isn't as much a thing. And certainly there's no previous information because you have a brand spanking new transponder and registration set up.
That's right.
So
that part went fine.
That went great.
That went swimmingly.
That was your 10+ roll.
The stuff that's going to get us pulled over by the space cops, we're fine with. It's the stuff that's going to keep it from exploding I'm worrying about now.
Well, now I'm worrying also about who's going to come looking.
I mean, yeah, but
sure.
We sort of assumed that was part of the risk of buying a hot ship.
Oh yeah,
that's what Sal's for.
Yep.
Also true.
I would like to just kind of poke around the ship for like hidden compartments and stuff because like if I was an unsavory person, like I am, who owned the ship, I would want to hide stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and make an investigation roll? But you can take a lot of time, so I don't know if you have that skill or not.
Investigation. I don't see it on my skill list.
Then you would you'd be at
Yeah, I don't have it.
You'd be, or do you have Streetwise? I'll let you use that too.
I have Streetwise, yeah.
Since you're looking for something less than legal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead and make a Streetwise roll.
Okay.
Plus your int.
Okay, so I have a 0 at Streetwise.
Okay, so you roll even.
Okay, and then so I just roll 2 dice.
Yep, 2d6, and any modifiers you get from your skill or your intelligence.
Ooh, I got a 10.
Excellent. You do find that in the cargo bay, because this ship has been modified to have more cargo space than the normal class of this ship, that there are some compartments that are designed not to look like compartments. Not a lot. You can probably only maybe get half a ton of cargo kind of distributed around. There's 4 different compartments, each taking about 500 pounds of space, you would guess, just kind of estimating, looking at size.
Okay.
So you could definitely you could definitely put some things in there that you don't want found that would be difficult to find on an initial inspection.
Nice. Is there anything currently in there?
They are all empty.
Okay.
The ship as well, kind of as you've spent time in it, the way it's set up is that there are, actually it's set up to have 10 staterooms in it. They're all on the same level of the ship, and it's the same level in the ship. So I zoom up my road map here, floor map here, as where the bridge is. So it's very convenient to be able to go from any of the ship's operations to the staterooms. There is a master stateroom that sits kind of in the middle. So if the ship is this manta ray formation, you have staterooms down each of the sides. In the center is a master stateroom, which butts up against an area that actually holds the excursion vehicle, and then the bridge is to the front, kind of up near the front of the manta ray. And the back is all drive and engineering sections. If you go to the lower deck, that's the upper deck, that's where the galley and the crew lounge is. You've got your storage, several storage areas for personal storage or smaller item storage. Your vac suits are there. And that is also where your shuttle is, to be able to go into the shuttle, and where the cargo bays are landed. So that's kind of the setup. There's a map that we can all see that, Dave, I'll have to spend some time with you to figure out how I actually do full screen stuff here and not totally
I'll
explode
start
our
to
Twitch
tinker with it.
stream. So I can bring that up. But yes, there are areas within the two large cargo bays, because they're split on either side. If you think of the manta ray as kind of looking like this, like a strange oval, the shuttle kind of docks in to that, so you get almost like a U shape around it. The cargo bays sit on either side of the shuttle, and in fact, they have doors that sync up, where if you had cargo in the shuttle, you could open those and offload that into either cargo bay if you wanted. Or if you were going on a long trip and not expecting to use the shuttle, you could actually have a contiguous cargo bay that way if you want to leave those doors open. Be a little unorthodox, but if you had something, I guess, really, really, really long that you had to store that way, you could make accommodations.
You ever transport an anaconda? Okay, no. Actually,
I can check that in the database, but it's not ringing any bells, as you would say.
at the risk of metagaming, I would like to I would like to wander a little bit through just to explore the space.
Mm-hmm. Go right ahead.
And I don't have an ability. There isn't a specific psionic ability to see if I can get it. It's a telekinesis ability that I don't think I ever manifested, to like see the history of objects.
I don't, off the top of my head, recall which of the.
I manifested 4. Telekinesis was not one of them.
Well, there you have it then.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes, I'm not sure which of the abilities might be useful to you.
It's fine. I can also just wander
that.
around the ship. I mean, it's natural to explore a space.
Sure. Because you do have the telepathy school, right?
Yeah. But
yeah.
I manifested fittingly or frustratingly, I manifested everything but telepathy and teleportation. Telekinesis and teleportation. Like the 2 that are fairly useful.
You're like, those would have been real
That'd be
good.
great. Very good at taking good naps, though.
Yes, and clairvoyance kind of does that, but that's more about space, like distance than But you know, if you wanted to try to do something in that regard, it seems like there's nothing really that you've got, or at least that you've learned by this point, that would let you, you know, garner any specific knowledge. Though if you want to try something, I'll always let you try something.
I'm gonna
I
rifle
can
through the rules. But
toss our
yes.
floor plan up
Okay.
on the stream for just a minute.
Okay. I believe you.
At least I hope.
The
Question,
stream goes down.
Should I really be watching the Twitch stream on another channel? That's really my question.
Somebody tell me if it transitioned okay, because if I look, it's gonna mess things up.
Add us on Twitter if everything goes down and we don't notice.
Let me see. Happy Jack's streaming. Woohoo! Go to there. Join it. Let me take a look. Yes, there it is. There's the
Aha!
upper deck. Aha.
Hey!
Good. And now I'll mute my Twitch stream so I don't go insane.
Yes.
Hearing that over and over. So yes, so there we go. It is basically, you've got the staterooms on the kind of the left and the right on the upper deck of the ship. A master stateroom, which sits in between those, if you will, in the middle, kind of next to where the vehicle bay is. Though you enter the vehicle bay obviously from the other side, not through the master stateroom, and the bridge in the forefront. It is a ship that has been well cared for, but is definitely not new in so many ways.
Okay. This is some shenanigans. And you can say, absolutely, I will not let you use your magic powers in our science fiction game to bend the rules like this. Clairvoyance is only defined as sensing something that is displaced from sense something at some point in distance, and it doesn't specify whether that's time or space.
So you'd like to, what are you trying to achieve?
The ship can't remember, or Ursula can't remember anything from before she was rebooted.
Mm-hmm.
I assume. I'm gendering our ship already. So my question, so if I could, can I check the history of the ship using clairsistence?
Sure. Go ahead and make. I have a general idea of what you're probably trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
So I like to run fast and loose with the rules. So please go ahead and roll against that skill, which is probably part of a larger tree, right?
Yeah.
Is it clear? Is it the clairvoyance? It's within clairvoyance, right?
It's within clairvoyance. It's called clairsistence.
Right. And what's your clairvoyance?
I have a 1.
Okay. So you're going to roll 2d6 and add 1, and then do you get any more bonuses from your psi?
I do. I have a 1.
Okay.
I have
so
an
you're going to
additional
roll
1.
2d6, and you're going to add +2, and your target number is 10.
And I add the 2d6 together, correct?
Yes.
Okay. 9 + 2, 11. Ha!
Okay.
I can do basic math.
You definitely get a sense of how far back are you trying to go? Just like recent?
Let's go 20. Yeah, no, because he only recently got it. So logically, let's go 10 years.
Okay. I will go to.
Also, I apologize in advance because this is the GM's worst nightmare, is like talking to yourself as an NPC.
Oh no, it's all good. You are you go back 10 years and you sense one person on the ship. Someone who seems to be spending a lot of their time in engineering. That's where the emanations are strongest from. They are, from what you can see, older and seem to be talking quite a bit to the computer. Though they are calling it obviously a different name. And what you are, a name that you pick up is Xanthus.
Hmm.
And it's kind of what you get.
Awesome. I have no idea what to do with that information, but we have it now, and that's power enough.
You have it. You can share that if you'd like.
Yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna explain how I know that. This is fine. This is all fine. I'll figure it out.
Let's have the last meal before you'll sleep and then wake up, coming into Yuma Station. I have been doing some work on the sub-sector, which is a little behind the times, but basically where everything takes place is in the Renzoria sub-sector. Yuma Station is located in RZ0806. I'll be building out the whole map, and we can put that up, and people can see it. You guys can see it. But it's kind of right at the coreward edge of space. So it's like, as typically when exploration happens, ships will jump usually about as far as they can go and still be able to return. Sometimes they'll do elongated jumps where they bring along with them like extra fuel as cargo, to be able to try to jump farther than to jump back. If you jump and you don't have enough fuel to get back to somewhere where you know there's a gas giant and you can't get scoops, you get stranded. So, it's and without there being instantaneous communication, you can't really just send like a probe somewhere because it has no way to get information back to you in any timely fashion whatsoever. So this is kind of the point, like at the beginning of a new subsector where they discovered a gas giant, they discovered the planet, and then they decided that this would be a good place to actually put a station, which is Yuma Station. So you've been at two in the subsector. You've been at two jumps over in the Astrades Nebula. So you making the jump back is kind of your maximum jump on the ship. It's a jump 2. So when you come in, that's obviously why you want to know where you're going when you're going to show up and have no fuel left. So that's the interesting part about exploration, is that it's kind of a hex crawl, if you will. There's a lot of space that's been unexplored. Yuma Station is really pretty new. It's only been fully operational for a short amount of time. So you are kind of at that bleeding edge of people being able to get out here, have a base of operations to start exploration from. Certainly the where the nebula is in that section of space, there's a gas giant there. So that's a good potential jumping off point for people to be able to go somewhere and come back to get to Yuma Station. So that's a nice forward observation area. But as you're coming back, there'll be basically one more day to travel, because each jump takes about a week, each jump through space. So it's a fine 2-week trip back. And in fact, interestingly enough, by the time you get back, you'll be still a good month or so out from having to make a first payment, which is nice because of the way he set it up. You're going to get that time, and it's not like he could file it until he got back, right? So you did take
no payments
longer.
for the first 14 days.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to get almost a 60-day grace period to start figuring out what you want to do and raise funds to pay for this ship, especially if there's things you want to do, like, I don't know, fix reactor leaks and things like that. That's where stuff starts getting pricey. But it's the last meal before you're going to end up, sleeping, going back. One of the things I will note about the ship that is kind of important to know is that it has not only the I have a train going on in the background, is that it has all what are known as upper berths, all staterooms. Commonly, ships will have lower berths or cryogenic pods in case someone can't afford to travel in more luxury, meaning they actually get a bed to sleep in and food to eat, which is more expensive. So this ship, even though it has been refitted to have more cargo that it takes and be more of an exploration ship, is still also designed to be a more luxurious journey, not only for you all, but anybody you ever decide to take with you, because there's not that low berth, turn them into meatsicles and then thaw them out when you get to your destination.
Which is not a perfect tech, by the way.
No.
Like, that's the risk of it. It's like maybe you don't wake up on the other end.
Right. Usually,
but you didn't have to pay too much to get there.
Nope. It's a less expensive way to go.
Yeah.
And it will probably work just fine. More than likely.
I don't like that probably.
Yeah, I don't like probably in my transport technology.
No.
That's pretty odd. No.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
I also don't like teleporters. Just they freak me out.
Those are not a thing.
I know.
Thank God.
The concept of them freaks me out.
Talk about Theseus's ship, right?
Yeah.
Truly.
So to that point, I'm interested. Where do you all kind of claim as your place, your room, your spot to put your stuff and bunk down on the ship?
Go.
I mean, I think I claim, I'm, despite all of the, I don't know, trappings of everything, I think I claim whatever stateroom is closest to the engine room.
Yeah, there's two that are in the back on either side, that are that butt up against where engineering is.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna hang out, and that's most of this time I've spent checking the engine room, seeing if I can do anything about this reactor leak, and trying to get everything sort of ship shape at least as much until we get back to Yuma, so it can get officially repaired.
Excellent. That is good. How about you, Blue?
I think Blue's definitely picked a stateroom, just any of them, but there is a there's a lot of stuff in the cockpit. There's definitely a weighted blanket and several a potted plant and the things that you probably don't need that probably should have stayed in one's room that have migrated in the 2-week trip.
Right. All right. Excellent. How about you, Sal?
Well, she's definitely claimed the turret.
Right.
As this is her space, keep out. I think she probably spends most of her time in there, but I think she's claimed the master stateroom as her gun closet.
It's just for guns.
It's just for guns and cleaning the guns and putting together an outfit that looks good when it hides them all. But she probably doesn't sleep in there.
It's just a walk-in closet with guns.
Yeah. She might sleep in there
Excellent.
if she's got a guest for,
Sure.
appearances.
There's
Sure.
so many staterooms.
Yeah, it's hard to cram more than one person into the belly turret.
Yeah. Not
But she could
comfortably.
figure it out.
Yeah, sure. There's a certain amount of limberness required for that.
Right.
Sure.
Fully
Yeah.
believe in you.
Yeah, I think she probably saw Miles not claim the big room and was like, I could fit a lot of guns in there.
None of us wanted to argue with you either. Like, no, take it.
And how about you, Benjamin?
I'm gonna take one of the very forward staterooms away from the radiation leak.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, smart.
like, that's specifically
Oh,
where
smart.
I am. And probably the neighboring, like, if two of them could have like an adjoining door, I'd probably set one up as like a recording studio office.
Right. You could definitely have that modification done. They're all set up to
It
be
doesn't have okay.
private.
Well, I mean, then I'd
private
just use the
staterooms.
hallway for now. Yeah, it's fine. I'd probably,
Yeah, you
I'd
could-
probably keep it that way just so that, like, if we needed to, I could pull, like, eventually, like, I'll pay and get like a Murphy bed put in. So, like, if we had extra guests that we needed to use that space, I could set it up so it would still look like a nice stateroom. But
Sure. So yeah, I'm guessing. So yeah, Miles is at the back, and I would imagine, Blue, you're probably taking the stateroom, one of the staterooms
Across-
that's also close to the
Yeah.
bridge. So you
There's
know,
one on
you
either
and
side, so
yeah, you and so Benjamin, you probably have the one that's opposite that if you're both
Yeah, yeah.
forwardmost,
yeah.
right? With Benjamin having then the next one that he's been setting up with comms gear, what he can find, moving some stuff around from the ship, to have that be kind of an advanced broadcasting setup. Got a nice green screen in the back, so you can make
like,
it look like you're somewhere else.
like I dragged in a second desk from one of the other staterooms, and
Right.
it's set up with a
Yeah.
microphone on each side so I could do interviews.
You're letting
And,
people on the ship.
You never know. You have to be prepared.
We might have captives. I mean, guests.
You
I mean,
never know.
what if we save one of those poor miners with the sweats?
God, I forgot about miner sweat.
Oh, gross! Don't bring them on the ship.
I need to be on the
They're
ship.
gonna get it all sweaty.
Yeah. What if it's contagious?
And yeah, so all the staterooms have their own freshers in them. It's definitely set up so it's very convenient. There's to get into the belly turret, you actually, Sal, go down through the galley. So it's kind of near the front of the galley and crew lounge area. There's it's obviously been added in at some point, an access panel to go through there. So
Sweet. Proximity to snacks. I like it.
yeah, basically you come out of your stateroom, go downstairs, go into the belly, at the gun. So, you don't actually, have to, well, you kind of do live where you work since you like to spend most of your time in there, but your collection of stuff and your outfits
Yeah, I
are
can go
upstairs.
visit my stuff.
That's right. You can always go visit your stuff and kind of get away from it all.
Mhm.
All right. We will, unless there's anything anyone is burning to do over dinner, we will have our night's rest and show up in RZ 0806 to Yuma Station. During the night,
I'd probably try and catch up with everybody. Like,
Okay.
see, like,
sure, good.
what have you guys been doing since I saw you years ago, or whatnot, or
Yeah.
what the heck is your whole story, Blue? Like, I don't.
Who the fuck are you?
Like, you're a person. I guess we're roommates now, but okay. There's always that one roommate in like a big shared situation where you're like, I know you and I know you and cool, all right, rock on. And you, I don't know yet.
Yeah. And it's
Are you going to be
always
one of those
somebody-
people that like glues beer cans together in the fridge just for kicks, or what are you going to be?
That's a fascinating thing. No.
I mean, I had a college experience that was weird, I admit, but
I will admit that, like, the problem, it's hard. Blue's kind of, she's probably being pretty cagey about what she's been up to. Like, I can't really talk about it anyway.
oh, I get that. Like, it's cool. I respect privacy.
Actually, I got a name for, I was exploring around the ship, but I got a weird name, although I don't know what to do with it yet.
Weird name.
Xanthus. I would assume something that has to do with the engine the the thing that makes the ship go. I understand
Like-
how to maintain an engine. I do not know what everything is
The
called.
reactor,
Yes, that.
so this Xanthus person is the person that made the leak happen or something?
Maybe it might also be Ursula's first name,
Oh,
previous name. I can't really explain anything about it beyond that.
If you'd like, I could search the database for Xanthus. I'm sorry, I just happened to be listening since it was table talk, I think you called.
I keep forgetting you're here. Could you?
I'm
Is that-
comfortable with YouTube, Blue. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Xanthus, if it means anything to you, it hopefully
It
should.
doesn't, but it at least does give me something to look for.
Do that. Maybe with a previous ship's engineer.
when we get back to the station in a little bit there, Ursula, try not to do a lot of communicating with the station on your own until we
Oh,
get some
of-
upgrades for the comm system and everything.
Of course, Benjamin.
You know,
How
just
do
like if you don't update your computer regularly, you're likely to have bad people send bad things and infect your system. Wouldn't
we
want
wouldn't
that.
want that.
No,
That
for
doesn't
sure.
sound pleasant at all.
Right.
Also,
Perhaps
we
I'll have to
don't-
look into upgrading my defensive capabilities. Do you think there's a chance that my system could be attacked?
Well, you've been kind of out of touch for a while. I just want to, take some time, get back to the station, talk to some people that know some stuff about, computer
Neptune.
defenses.
Neptune does not have a prince. Do not answer any emails from a Neptunian prince.
Right, that kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. You don't want to go to any websites and click on anything that looks suspicious. If you get any emails with a link in there from somebody you don't know, just don't click it. Like that kind of stuff, Got to be
I
ready.
understand. Ensure that I am following basic safety protocols for communications.
You haven't
I'll
ordered
leave it in
anything
your
from
occasionally
Amazon?
capable hands, then, Benjamin.
Yeah, I mean, one of the very first things I will do when I get back to the station is look into seeing what we can do.
I appreciate your concern and care.
We saved so much money on buying this ship, and yet we're gonna spend all the money we saved upgrading this ship and
Probably.
Well-
fixing the things we've saved money on.
But at the end of the day, we still got a ship for $50 million less than it should have been.
That's
Exactly.
true.
We did pretty
And
well.
so much personality.
And so
Yeah.
much personality.
And speaking of that,
Like-
Ursula, in addition to worrying about, viruses and whatnot, just maybe in general, let's just keep it on the DL here with the talking and the reasoning and the funny banter. Just, let's
You
just
mean-
not and let anyone cutting on to.
Do you mean all the time, Miles? Do you find it...
No, just when we're at the
Unpleasant.
station. No, just when we're at the station.
When it's us,
Oh.
it's fine. But when there's other people about, just
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. You'd like my presence to remain more covert.
Yes. I think
Understood.
that will be good for everybody.
like, you don't drive your car that's got all kinds of cool mods on it somewhere without a car alarm, right? You don't leave it parked on the street for everybody to look in the window and be like, "Wow, that's a $25,000 upgrade in that car." Wouldn't it be a shame if someone took it? Like, we wouldn't want you to be kidnapped either.
Exactly.
Think of all the people I'd have to murder if they did take you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Sal. That kind of care is rare.
Well, I'm here for you.
I'll also ensure that I do whatever I can to not be stolen. I think I like all of you quite a bit.
Well, we like you.
too.
I like how quickly you both said that. We like you too.
I still haven't discounted the possibility of a Dave situation or of a Hal situation. So I'm going to be nice to the machine that
Yeah.
takes care of us in space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of character, I said one of the first things I'm going to do is look into communications upgrades. The first thing I'm going to do is be like, where's a big red manual button?
Yeah.
Like, how much does that cost? And I'll install that on, like, at least the life support, right? Like, just
Yeah.
be like, maybe we
Seems like a good
oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
None of our poking around the ship had us find a like Kia style manual that was like, here's how you like turn off.
There aren't really there's a
Even if we
decided-
did, we'd never figure it out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just-
there's a
It's just pictures for like,
right. I used the Flufrelnugel to
yeah.
then activate the Eklurfk. I'm
Yeah.
not even sure what that is. Yeah, there's a decided lack of physical documentation about the ship. You can certainly find out things about it in the ship's computer database. All of that is there, model number, any basic operating things. But again, you sometimes run into on a walls almost where, especially if Miles is looking at the engine, he's like, "Oh, so if this like jump drive is totally not anything you've seen before, right? Because it spins up automatically. It does stuff that when you took off, it's like that jump drive did a thing that jump drives don't do.
Yep.
So
There-
at some point, someone's put various systems in and really played with stuff. There's other things that are just like super antiquated, like your astronavigational system, right? It's just like that thing is vintage.
How much is that going to cost to upgrade?
That's a great question.
Oh man. There truly is like a ghost in this machine and we're like trying to find it.
So just an aside question. I get that the ship is kind of decked out for luxury travel, right? But like,
Mhm.
what's the decor, right? Is it like gaudy luxury, or is it classy luxury, or is it like super
Who's-
minimalist?
Whose
Modern-
bathroom is this?
It's
Yeah,
well,
is it
Like, is everything like plated in faux gold and like
Yeah,
I don't,
it's-
yeah.
it's not they plated in faux gold, but you could see that it was you can see the roots of the ship design where this was a modified Safari class ship to be less about maybe originally that's what it was. Like you actually see some parts where it's like, this is a like brown leatherish kind of thing that's actually aged surprisingly well for being quite possibly 100 years old. It has that well-worn like gentleman's smoking room type
Hunter's Lodge type
yeah,
feel.
Hunter's Lodge
It smells
type
of rich
feel.
mahogany.
Yes, exactly. And that's definitely the case in the galley and crew lounge, right? Like that feels like it's straight up Hunter's Lodge, almost like very nice, very tasteful, but also has that very particular vibe about it.
Mhm.
The lower deck is really like that section is the one that feels the most vintage. Like if you walked into that, it's like, oh my God, this is what a luxury hunting safari ship must have been like 100 years ago. The cargo bays obviously at some point were converted over from being able to store live animals, which is what the safari ships were intended to do, and turned into more traditional cargo bays and expanded in that way. Also on either side of the galley and crew lounge is where you have different storage areas where the vac suit is and where the ship's armory is. The armory is empty. There's no weapons on the ship. So whoever had it last looks like they maybe took that stuff with them, or whoever had the ship last wasn't carrying weapons. But the armory is basically empty. And so is the storage. It definitely feels like, whether that was Ezra or the last owners or something, but the ship's pretty much been cleared out. There are vac suits on the ship, and there's actually 10 vac suits that are there. So it's been set up to be able to, have people use ship vac suits if they needed. Not really many people have their own. That's a pretty almost kind of quirky thing for someone to say, no, I've got my vac suit. I don't trust yours. But they're all there, and they actually look like they're all in fairly recent repair as you examine those. The upper deck has definitely been, redone much more recently. Something on the, probably in the last 20 years, it's been redone, and it is, in the last, let's say, 20 to 30 years, and it is very nice. This is obviously someone who probably made a conscious decision to leave the Galleon Lounge like it is, because it was kind of like kitschy, and it's like, oh, look, this cool hunting thing. But the upper deck area and the staterooms are all very well apportioned. And you would say that, that the styling looks to maybe be 20 to 30 years old, and definitely from styles that would have been more popular, more towards the hub of like close, like more hub than fringe, right? So at this point, a little dated, in what it looks like, but like to the nines of what that time would have been. A very well apportioned ship. Where you see kind of the most hodgepodge stuff is in engineering, is in the bridge, right? Any of those areas that are the working parts of the ship have obviously undergone the most changes. And in fact, because I think it'd be an interesting thing to have you all do, how is the access, Sal? How is the access to the belly turret disguised in the floor of the lodge?
Ooh. Let's see. I think it probably like just has like a rug over it, so it just looks like part of the floor, and then you have to like pull up the rug, and there it is, because I love that trope. It's like a bearskin rug or something.
Okay, so it looks like it's a distinctly different rug, but it's just under the rug.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a weird six-legged bear or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that is one thing, is that there's been no like sentient life, like there's been no other species in that way that you found. There definitely have been other planets that have other life on them that is not the same as Terra, right? There's lots and lots and lots of that, strange exotic animals and plants and different things like that. Just nobody doing stuff, right? So like on all these different worlds, which as Benjamin will tell you, is suspicious in and of itself. That how can there be a six-legged purple bear somewhere and no other things?
Where's the six-legged purple bear with particle weapons?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, I want to make friends with him.
There are plenty of theories. I feel like over dinner we've had this argument of like, there are plenty of theories as to why. There's the great filter concept. There's and just I don't know. I promise you, there are no aliens.
Nope.
Well, depending on what you confirm as aliens. I guess a six-legged bear on a different planet is technically an alien.
Technically.
No,
but there's
technology
no
using,
no technology using sapient life. There's sentient life, because obviously the bear is sentient, but not. I think sapient is the actual differentiation between those.
Would you all like me to set an alarm for before we enter the space around Yuma Station?
That would be wonderful.
Wake up?
Yes, that'd be amazing.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
I will do so. Is there anything else I can do for you this evening? Otherwise, I would be interested in dedicating processing power to finding this Xanthus that you mentioned, Blue.
I'm fine. You guys?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Thank you, Ursula.
We appreciate
Of course. Just call me if you need anything.
It's very weird talking to a computer like that when it can respond and it's not like an Alexa. Not screaming at it.
No, I said.
Shut up.
All right. You all get your various nights' sleep as you'd like to. And at some point during this, unless some yes.
I just wanted to check in with the crew.
Yes.
When we get back onto to Yuma Station, are we looking for work immediately so we can afford repairs, or how do we want to handle that?
It's a good question.
I think like sussing out some cost on repairs is my first plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I do have a little bit of money that I could pour into like making sure we don't all grow a third arm
Yeah, exactly.
from flying around in the ship for too long.
Let's find out how much the repairs will cost and what they'll take. You know, some of it, obviously, I can also try. With the material and resources we can get at Yuma Station. So let's sort of see, and then we'll figure out. Yeah, then we'll figure out trying to get a job, or if Benjamin, if you know the Lister list has something that we could go explore or look into.
Well, you know, I will check the tip line as soon as we get back to the station, because you know it's got it's a voice, like a Google Voice number, for lack of a better term. You know, people can call and leave their tips about weird stuff that they've heard. You know,
I just in looking. Oh, sorry.
No, go.
In looking at the kind of ship we're on, and the it's particularly it's designed specifically as a safari ship. I may have someone. It may be perfectly suited to some work I used to do.
That's intriguing.
Did you do a lot of hunting? Is that a thing?
I may know someone who works with exotic animals, and this may be the perfect vessel for that kind of work, actually.
All right.
Exotic animals, you say?
It's complicated.
Like, as long as that, like, I'm not feeding things, because I'm out. Like, there's
you're not feeding things, so you as a person is not being fed to an
animal. Both, really. More number 2 than number 1. Like, if it's, like, oh, look, that's a beautiful fish, I could Mr. Rogers it a little bit once a day, that's fine. But like, I'm not so good with, like, dangerous critters.
Yeah, keeping stuff alive hasn't really been my forte, but
I'm just saying this ship used to hold animals, and I think if we need to, it was quite suited to. If we need the money, I don't think we need. Let's see what the repairs look like.
Especially like if this friend of yours is in need of transporting some of their stuff, and they're coming too. Fine, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like a zoologist and many critters that they're taking care of would be totally fine by me.
You could call them a zoologist. Let's go with zoologist.
Yeah. Oh, but like, I certainly don't have the training for like the appropriate way to feed a space alligator and not get eaten.
I'm sure those details will be hammered out if we need them. But for now, it is just on the back burner if we need. Yeah. Let's say it's on the back burner if we need money.
And honestly, as long as we get some, we spend a little money up front and get a decent stock of food and booze and legal recreational pharmaceuticals. Like, this ship is laid out in such a way that we could transport some people that are willing to pay pretty well to get from point A to point B.
True. Less hot on the idea of transporting people, but I like where your head is at.
People have more money than animals.
Generally.
Yeah. No, I'm not arguing with that. Anyway, it's on the back burner if we need it.
And
I mean,
you know,
the animals aren't going to stay in the stateroom, so no reason we couldn't do both.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Mobile zoo.
Mobile zoo.
oh yeah,
Oh my god.
like turn that into like an experience,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly.
Like we don't even have to leave the Yuma system, use up any jump fuel. We could just do like a 1 week loop out to the distant planets and come back.
Mm-hmm.
People can come on
Mhm.
board and have like meet and greet with space sloths.
A space
Yeah.
sloth experience.
Yes. Now we're
Alright.
talking, right? That's
Yeah,
that
I guess
The worst idea.
that would
it's not-
sell. That would
there are
sell like
worse
hotcakes.
there are worse ideas in existence. I will agree.
So the chat, James in the chat just said like Jurassic Park, that kind of experience.
No.
And as long as nobody says we spared no expense, we'll be fine.
Exactly.
Oh, we spared so many expense. Have you seen our ship?
Mhm.
Yeah, so that is my offer if that is a thing that we are interested in to make money easily. Or not easily, but to make money. This seems
Yeah.
to be well suited to that orientation.
Well, we get back, everybody kind of put out some feelers, see what might be out there, maybe
Sounds good to me.
somebody 2-star systems away needs a gun stabbing. Like
Sal, do you take a gun to the table for dinner?
Oh yeah,
Is it
several.
just a gun blade sitting at one of the table at one of the
Yeah, that's the one you can see.
that's the reminder that there's worse.
Yeah. What do you think she's gonna cut her meat with?
Oh my god,
I mean,
I love it.
Sorry, Bill, I think you were muted there if you said something.
Oh, my mic was off, not my thing. I
Ah.
would say like it's like Sal has that there, so you all know you're safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously.
yeah.
I'm perfectly comfortable with it. Like, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like if we have more people at dinner, someone might be
Right.
concerned.
If we're transporting people that are paying good money, we can keep that a little
But
more
like it's family.
like, yeah.
The gun is family.
Listen, the passengers will stay in line. None of them are gonna be acting up.
I enjoy that. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's all I wanted to bring up before we landed.
That is good. Planning is good.
Yeah.
But I think after dinner, I'm going to spend some time assembling a new red yarn and conspiracy board in that second stateroom.
Excellent.
Nice.
Like, weird connections between like, angry tardigrades and psychic breaking and enterings, and the UFO Jimmy and his sightings of stuff out, in the one of the distant star systems out here.
That makes
Ba-
total sense.
Basically, I think I have a feeling that Benjamin spends some time, much like in the first Men in Black, where like he picks up all of the tabloid garbage papers to be like, what grains of truth are in these stories?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Are you all prepared? Do you feel like you're ready to return to the station?
I
Yeah.
suppose.
Is you're going to be?
So
All right. In the whatever time it is, morning, evening, whenever it is you're coming back, you all hear the sound of like some kind of bell being played, or it sounds like somebody's striking metal against metal. It has that kind of tone, like ding 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 ding.
Dinner is served in the starboard dining room.
And you can decide if that wakes you up, but you definitely hear it very clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
that wakes me up.
Yeah.
I'm not a heavy sleeper.
Okay.
I can't imagine why.
No.
I'll head back to
You
the
can.
bridge.
Um,
although-
The doors on our ship, just either group consensus or Bill, are they like slidey open, push a button, slidey open doors? Or are they more like hatches or...
Are they irises?
Yeah, I mean, I'm up for...
Fascinating.
Whatever you like. I have no.
What do you guys
Race.
think?
I like it. I like irises.
Irises sound cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Iris is fun,
Yeah.
All right.
except for my bearskin hatch.
Except for the bearskin hatch that, like, I'm
Sure.
and, yeah. As long as there's a manual override, I'm super fine with everything that's automatic.
Yeah.
I am a paranoid person.
Yeah, they probably. I mean, you could decide if you hit a button and it opens, or if it just opens when you get near it.
I think.
Well, I'm
it's
sure it has like a privacy interlock kind of a
Sure,
thing.
yes,
Like you
yeah,
can push a
yeah,
button,
people
so
can't just walk into your room. Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like,
it is set up
when
it
the
is set up
button's
to
pushed,
be-
you don't like, oops, I rolled over in the night and the door opened because it detected me.
Right. Yeah.
It's
yeah,
a motion
exactly.
detector.
Sleep rolling.
It's like a
That's right,
7-Eleven door.
Oh my gosh.
Like a cricket hops by and it's...
Yes, after you've been on the ship long enough to know that that it has buttons that you push to open it, from the inside, and if you go to somebody's and it's closed, it obviously it has a chime that it sets off inside, and then they can get up and let you in. So it's definitely set up to be able to have people travel and have their privacy, and not be disturbed if people walk in. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were in this room.
Yeah.
So Blue, you go up into the pilot's area,
Yeah.
and in the bridge, and you are still in jump space.
In what?
You're still in jump space. You haven't
Cool.
come out of jump yet.
Not to be too paranoid about it, but I think before we actually arrive at Yuma Station, it'll need to be Miles up here as the clean name of the ship. And I don't have any enemies. Miles may need to be around, or at least within contact. There's an intercom.
Yes, you
Okay.
bet. Yes, there's intercom. You can speak to either different sections of the ship. Any section of the ship can talk to any section of the ship. So engineering can talk to bridge, that kind of stuff, or you can do ship-wide.
Cool. Just making
Calm.
sure that's something that might need to happen. But otherwise, if I need to land, I will be able. I'm at the bridge to do that, and otherwise, I have a weighted blanket here, so I can nap if it's going to take that much longer in jump space.
All right. What's everyone
So
else doing?
completely off topic, but this whole discussion about the rooms reminded me. In college, some friends and I decided to take like a super low budget trip up to Gettysburg to see the battlefield and have a weekend. And so we stayed in this super cheap motel outside Gettysburg. And one of the guys that was with us, we're all going to bed and we're in this room, and he gets up and he drags the dresser over and puts it in front of the motel room door. And we're all like, dude, what the hell? And he goes, just in case. So we're all like, okay, weirdo. Whatever. We go to sleep. 3:00 in the morning, something is bashing the hell out of our room door. We're like, what the fuck is happening? And this dude is outside, let me in the room, yelling and screaming, and he busts the door frame, and the only thing that stopped him from just being in the room was the fact that this stupid dresser was...
What?
And then, like, as soon as he busts the door frame, somebody else goes, that's not the right room, you freaking moron! And the dude's like, oh, my bad, and, like, stumbles drunkenly away.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Amazing.
That's my bad ever. My bad.
Oh my god.
So, like, we called the front desk right away to be like, we didn't do this. Like, please do not charge our credit card.
Oh
because I doubt we have enough money on it anyway to pay for this room. So just yeah.
And they're like, no, don't worry about it, sir. It happens all the time. We got spares in the basement. We'll just bring it up and hang it for you.
Like the night manager was like, "Oh yeah, I heard that going on," and I'm like, "Well, you didn't think to like maybe call the cops or come over and check or anything?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're in trouble.
yeah.
That dude said I
Sorry.
was angry. I wasn't calling the cops. That's crazy.
The rest of the trip, though, we're all like, "We owe you, bud. You drag any dresser you want."
It's not paranoia when you're right.
That's right. What does everybody else do? Blue's gone to piloting.
I'd probably go try and fix coffee for everybody.
Down to the galley? Sure.
Yeah.
That is Sal's first order of business too. So you probably see her scrambling up with like a gun tucked under one arm, like shuffling over, hair sticking up, real tired to the coffee machine.
Sal's not a morning person.
No.
What about you, Miles?
Let's see. Probably go down. Still, I'm just going down and like taking the inventory on the engine and checking out the reactor, trying to see if I can spot the leak and try to figure out what we're going to need to fix it.
Okay. Good deal.
Did you require breakfast service, Benjamin?
Certainly. I'm not going to say no. Are you equipped to help with it, or?
I can certainly point you in the direction of what stores are still available on the ship.
Ah,
Ezra, I believe that was the gentleman that was here. I've noticed that his name is the countersigning on the purchase documents that are
yes.
part of my registration now. Yes, it seems that he made sure that there was food stocked on the ship.
That's
that would have
good.
been a pretty important thing to have for you.
We generally need that, yeah.
Well, I've made it through a jump 1 without food, as long as there's water. You get a little weird on day 3 and 4, but you know, we can make it.
Well, the stores are located for, I believe it's marked in my database as arrival breakfast, specifically in cabinet 5 in storage container 3.
Oh,
And even though you've been on the ship and found stuff, you know, and look for things, you go and you're like, storage and you find 5 and you don't really see a 3, right? You're like trying to figure out what that means.
Oh no, it's down. It's actually, well, I suppose there are some compartments on the ship that are used for more secure items, and it's in one of those. If you just press the bottom panel at the bottom of that storage unit, you'll see that there is a refrigerated drawer.
oh. Well, that's handy.
and in a very covert drawer that even Sal didn't find it. She was like, I'm gonna go find all the
That's
hidden
impressive.
goodie compartments on here. Is there? And it comes out and there's like almost like a little like hamper of food in there that's got some nice delicacies in it. In fact, there's like a half dozen Ivorian eggs, which are pretty hard to get, and some other things. And it looks like there might even be some kind of like ready-made pastry that you could put in. And it's that, you know, kind of the cooks itself style. Not really anticipating you're going to do that, but not the kind of more standard fare that was brought on the ship. This will be the nicest meal you've had.
Nice.
Fancy.
I will totally go about fixing up whatever I can out of that for everybody.
Would you like me to turn off the alarm that was set, Benjamin?
Oh, is everybody awake?
Yes.
Ah, then sure, we can turn that off. And now I know you can tell if we're awake.
Well, everyone's not in their staterooms. Miles is currently in engineering, and Blue is in the bridge piloting seat. And you're both here. So, unless someone is sleepwalking, I'll assume that you're all awake.
Yes.
So yeah, you can rustle up a nice breakfast, which is not heavy, but is like some reasonable
A
stuff.
nice continental breakfast.
Yes. Would you please make me a steward roll?
Yes.
With your good components to make something that isn't disastrous.
Please
Oh,
destroy
yeah.
all this lovely food.
Does Steward get any stat specifically added to it? In this
Let's
case?
use let's use EDU.
Oh,
Let's use
all right.
Let's use your
Well, then-
education.
Well, then I got a 10.
Well, because that's right. Because you're super smart. You're, you turn on your instant recall for cookbook and apply it to your
Yes.
your learning. Yes. So you've got that. You've got that all prepared and set up as you'd like.
I'd call everybody and let them know.
Sure.
Like, hey, that Ezra guy left us with a real nice breakfast for today.
Oh,
Turned out
So-
to be a pretty good dude.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel bad for being so suspicious of him. I don't, but
Nah.
I do. He does have a stolen ship. Well, now he did sell us a stolen ship.
I mean, just
I
because you
mean-
do crime doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Yeah,
And to
no.
be fair, we agreed to buy a stolen ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
He
that's
acted as shady as
absolutely
possible,
true.
and we said, "Let's hear what you have to say." So,
That is absolutely correct. Blue definitely just drinks coffee.
I'll tuck in on the breakfast.
Yeah, and it's
All about it.
eggs and pastries and some other some fruit that's there and coffee. Everything else was pretty basic, like nutritional stores before this. That yep, they'll get you through a jump, but they're not super tasty.
Just power
But it
bars.
seems like
Here's
it
your
seems
daily
like-
gruel.
That's right. Yes, it meets your nutritional requirements.
Mhm.
But it does appear that Ezra was hoping that someone was going to actually buy this ship and he might leave them a nice little thing on the last day.
That's sweet of him.
That's how you build repeat business.
Yeah, I feel like I would work with Ezra again.
Stupid
Hey,
little
plus, we'll
things
buy
like
a
that, right?
stolen
Like,
ship from again.
yeah, you
We didn't
buy a
murder him.
bed and they throw in a weird T-shirt, and you're like, "Hey, I got a T-shirt." Like, you buy a car and they're like, "Here's a gift certificate for $25 in C's candy," and you're like, "Hey,
Hey,
I got some C's candy for only $25,000. It's amazing."
yeah.
What a deal!
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got croissants and we only had to pay 14 mega credits for it. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn fine
Sweet.
pastries. So you have your breakfast and you finish your breakfast and you're still not there.
How long is the estimated amount of time it would take for a jump?
Well, I mean, it's normally it would take from where you were, it would have been 2 weeks, and you're at the, like this was the last day to come in. So this is when you should be arriving.
And we haven't arrived.
But we haven't arrived.
No.
I'll give it another couple hours, but
Yeah, is it like concerningly overdue?
yeah.
Or
Well, I don't know how much time would you think that you would have had the alarm go off before you would have
Several
come into
maybe,
station port?
maybe a couple hours, but I mean, there's no point
Yeah,
in
it's
putting
probably
an
like
alarm.
3, 4 at this point.
Huh.
Okay. Our nav system is fucked though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Ursula,
Yes, Miles.
why did you wake us up when we were so far away from port?
I didn't wake you up, Miles. And in fact, I asked Benjamin if he'd like me to turn the alarm off. You all just seemed to wake up.
But we heard a bell.
I did not have the alarm go off, and certainly I wouldn't use a bell. I chose some really, well, traditionally delightful music because I always find that that's something that people probably like more than a bell going off. But if you like me, I can use a bell the next time I
No.
set an alarm.
I mean, I have thoughts on that as well, but I'm more concerned by the fact that we all heard something that woke us up.
Yeah, we
How-
all heard something. Was there a sound in the ship?
Let me review the logs. No, nothing that I believe would be a bell. I mean, there was sound in the ship, of course, but nothing outside normal operating parameters.
What's the like you said it was like a rhythmic kind of dinging, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna just tap it on the on the table, like that kind of rhythm. Does that sound? That's what we heard, correct? Or did we all hear something different?
Yeah, I heard a chimey bell noise.
I heard
Yeah.
sounded like someone was banging on metal of some kind.
Like repairing something banging?
I mean, it was rhythmic.
I'm headed
Personally-
down. Oh.
Can you play back
Miles?
noise? Like the ship noises from the last 3 hours or the hour before we were all in here making breakfast. Is that possible? Did you record that?
I wasn't set to record ambient ship sounds. I could set myself to do that if you'd like, Miles.
Oh, don't do that.
Do not
anymore
recommend.
anyway.
Never mind. All right.
All
Thank
right.
Yeah, I would like that.
No.
Like, just,
No.
yeah.
Uh,
In the time,
can you
if
record
everybody
ambient-
is asleep, just I would
Record
like to.
sound.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, that I will agree with. I need to do something. Can I go to engineering, or to the?
I'm sure if you are capable, I don't have a problem with it.
Sorry. Can I leave everybody else and go to engineering?
You can just do it, girl.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go, just get up and go.
Yeah, Blue like
Yeah.
Are you
looks
just
up and
like-
walks away.
Blue, wait, where are you going?
Blew
I
out.
need to I'm gonna check something, and I just wanna. Can I have a
Do-
little privacy to check something?
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, hey.
All right. If that's what you okay.
I wanna. All right, fine. If we've established that I can use this ability to do this thing, I wanna. Let's use clairvoyance again for the hour ago when that sound went off.
Right, it's like 3 hours ago.
3 hours ago, specifically around engineering, which seems to be where the last one pinged.
Okay, sure.
Just roll poorly.
10 or better, and I believe you're at a +2.
Yeah. I already beat it with the dice. That's a 10. 12.
Nice.
Also, it takes me 3 hours to recover side points, but if we're working in dimensions of days, it's almost
Right.
costs me
So
nothing.
yeah, you're down some for today, and in fact, you in doing that, you feel you feel more tired than you think you would have.
I hate
So
that. Cool.
from that you can posit what you will, but that seems like that was on total more draining than you would have expected. Normally you would expend side points and then you'd regain some and then spend some more,
Yeah.
but it feels like your battery maybe isn't fully recharged.
That's not great.
But you definitely know that this is where the sound came from, but it seems like it was longer than 3 hours ago. It feels like it was maybe around the same time that you looked into before.
Okay. I almost want to go back farther, but I don't know that's going to help. Instead, I'm going to do an old classic my family taught me when it comes to dealing with ghosts. Hello. Not you, Ursula.
Oh, I thought you might have needed some assistance, Blue.
No, I'm just checking for something.
All right. Well, let me know if I can be of assistance.
Nope, not yet. Anyone here? Nothing. No. All right. Well, that's what I got. It's the most useless psychic. I'll head back to the. I got nothing unless I roll to go back farther. I mean,
You could
know what?
try.
I have the points to spend. I can't imagine I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot and say I can't imagine we're gonna need this ability.
Oh, that's good.
anytime
That's always the
soon.
safest thing to do.
Hold on, it's cocked. I threw one off the table.
Take that dice.
I do not know how to keep dice in dice trays.
I was going to say you have a dice tray, but if you don't have a dice tray.
5 plus 2, 7. It doesn't make it anymore. I can't do it again.
Yep.
All right. Well, I've exhausted. Unless I'm gonna keep wasting those points, I'm gonna wander back to the
Okay.
galley. I got nothing. Unless somebody else wants to go down there and speak to a ghost that I can't prove is there.
Do you tell us what?
Yeah, I
did?
just go down. I'm like, I really want to explain to you what's happening, but I have no idea. That's what I got.
Okay.
Okay. Where'd you go?
There's something in, I guess, in engineering. I think that's where a sound would be coming from. That sounds like that. I'm just using hardcore logic here. Definitely logic.
Well, that makes sense. It did kind of sound like a clanking noise. Maybe I can go and do some recon.
Yeah, maybe there's someone stowed away on the ship.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Oh,
Picks up
damn.
her gun off the table.
I'm gonna scare the crap out of a ghost. Ursula, did you
Hey.
find anything on Xanthus?
I have found some files that do seem to be associated with some kind of project called Xanthus. They're difficultly encrypted. I think it might take me some time to find out exactly what's in those files.
I got nothing.
I'm gonna go investigate engineering to see what I can see.
Alrighty.
And
I
I'm
do
gonna
have a
go
skill
with.
called recon.
I'll go with you, but I don't love the idea.
Yeah, recon tends to be not exactly for this.
Okay.
Though if you're kind of tell me what you're trying to find out.
I'm kind of trying to look like she's probably using like her knife or her gun to like tap on various like items to see like what would have made the same tone to see like what yeah.
Yeah, because a recon's really about like scouting out dangers and spotting threats or unusual objects or people that are out of place, like that kind of thing.
A person out of place or a ghost out of place.
But
I'm
Yeah,
using the wrong ability. I just found the ability that would help with
Yeah.
this.
oh, okay.
Clairvoyant sense, which is just broadly asking.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Yeah.
there you go. We'll assume you were using that instead.
Mhm. Although it's
good.
routine and the DC is 6, which means
Ah,
that
but-
last one would have passed.
Well, the DC's 6 if it's you're not trying to do something very strange, which you're trying to do. I'm
trying
adding
to do something very
I'm
strange.
adding some difficulties to your rolls.
All right.
Yeah, this is potentially a little more investigate than recon.
Okay. I don't have investigate. I do have streetwise, which is what I used before, but
Yeah, because that was because you were trying to do something like
shady.
more
Yeah.
criminal and shady. But I mean, you can roll against investigate. It's a -3, but you add your int.
Let's find out. What's my difficulty?
So it's against so it's gonna be your roll. Hang on. Sorry,
No.
I've got exciting nasal drip going on tonight. So it's against an 8, but you're gonna have a -3 modifier to your roll if you don't have the skill, but then you'll get a plus based on your int if you get any pluses because of your int.
I didn't make it.
All right. So you're you're knocking on some stuff, and you're like, nothing sounds maybe exactly the same. Hard to tell.
I'd like to try to do a roll about it.
Alrighty.
And I'd use my engineering power plant that I have a 1 in, because what I'm trying to do is look for something that's out of place in the engine room.
Okay.
So something that seems unusual or out of place, or a panel or something that is wrong somehow.
Okay.
So let's see.
Listen,
So that's a plus
so-
1.
Yep. So that'll be engineering plus int. We'll give you plus int. on
Engineering
that.
plus int. So that's a plus 1. What's my int? My int is a 9. So that brings it to a 6. Is that good?
Okey-doke. So you rolled and with your
Yep.
pluses it's a 6.
It's a 6.
No, so 8. 8 is our magic number in Traveler.
Ah.
So yeah, you don't really see anything out of place, or I mean, the engine's got lots of mods, right? So other than
Right.
the fact that, but you've come to know where all that stuff is over the last couple of weeks, right? So you know your way around this engine now. But there's nothing that seems like, a panel got moved or something's open, or here's a new piece of gear that wasn't there, right? Everything
Okay.
seems pretty much the way you left it.
All right.
I've got nothing. I can't imagine. I have suspicions, but without any evidence, all I can say is we were woken up by some ship noise that Ursula didn't manage to catch, and it's just a routine clank.
Mm. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think
I
there are
mean,
routine clanks.
I
I don't
don't
see
love
anybody hiding, so
I don't love the idea of routine
I'll
clanks
probably-
either.
Come down the ladder in my vac suit.
You look
Uh,
like an
like-
idiot.
you don't need that in here.
Yeah, we have atmosphere here.
Somebody said there might be a stowaway. I wanted to be ready.
For what? Him to burst a hole in the side of the ship?
Look. Oh, if somebody's stowing away on a ship that was previously not the previous owner's rightful ship, and it had been parked out in an asteroid or a nebula for who knows how long, who knows what nefarious plans they have.
Okay, all right. I
Okay.
mean, fair, but all right.
Fair.
Oh, I did telepathy. What am I saying?
Hey,
Sorry.
Ursula, can you scan the ship, well, yourself, for life forms other than us?
Oh, yes, of course. No, there are the 4 of you and, well, the creature that Blue has. But other than that, there's no other life forms.
Wait, I have a thing?
You have your toad, remember?
Oh, fuck, I have a toad. I forgot about the toad shit!
I assume you've been feeding it.
I haven't feeding the toad. I super forgot I have a toad. He has an aquarium.
Do we know you have a toad on the ship?
You may have seen it. Haven't you guys been up to the bridge yet?
It's on the bridge.
There is an aquarium, like a small aquarium with a toad in
Like
it.
with water in it?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of a super bad idea on a spaceship.
Well, he's not on the dash.
Well, yeah, but like spaceships sometimes have periods where the gravity doesn't work so well.
Yeah, it's a real big problem. We've dealt with it before. It's plastic, not real glass.
Well, yeah, but like if there's water in the aquarium, it floats
It'll
out
float
the top
out.
and then gets in like important computer
It feels
systems.
at the top- Look,
You just need a lid.
it has
Oh,
a
it's
lid.
like a giant Tupperware.
Yeah, it's like a giant tub.
Oh,
It has,
okay,
an
all
option
right.
to, a little slidey bit, so you can slide it, and then it's completely. You can't do it very long because the toad needs air, but otherwise he's fine. Forgot I had a toad.
I'm assuming it has some kind of oxygenation system that attaches to it. It's
Yeah, it's look, it was gifted to me with the ability to take it into space because it had to transport to space the first time.
It's a space
All right.
aquarium.
The
All
space
right.
aquarium.
Space aquarium.
I completely forgot I brought a toad to space.
Nope.
I love him so much.
So I don't think Sal probably knew that you had a pet, and she's
Yeah,
like, "You're
I had forgotten.
you're what?"
There's a what on the what? What?
Yeah, it's the four of us and the toad on the bridge.
There's
All
a
right.
toad on the bridge.
There's a toad on the bridge.
Okay.
Okay.
I can move him to the galley if you'd like to
Is
all
it-
hang out with him.
Is it one of those like monster Pac-Man toads, like the huge ones?
What? No, it's just a toad.
Okay.
It's
well, I'm
probably
just-
it's like it's more like a frog. It's a very like colorful frog
Okay.
toad thing.
Cool. All right.
No,
It's
cool.
I mean, I think those Pac-Man toads are cool. I was just curious what your vision of your toad was.
No, he's like a little guy.
Okay.
I say Lil. He's actually a fairly large toad now that I think
You're
about
like, he's the size of a frisbee. Like, oh
it.
my
He's the
god.
size- It's
Is
like
he-
the kind of thing you can like hang on to. Like, yeah.
Is it like the size of a sourdough loaf? How big is it?
Sourdough loaf toad.
Right. What's the toad's name?
I cannot think of it. I was thinking about this. The toad's name is Monty, short for Montgomery.
Oh, of
It's
course.
Monty the Toad.
Obvious.
Yeah, Monty the Toad. He likes. I don't know. He's a. That's
He
adding
offers-
to the
he offers
NPC
you-
list. Monty. I mean, I cannot imagine Monty as a source of the banging, although we could find out.
No, but other than the four of you and Monty, there is no other life forms on the ship.
Cool. See, no stowaways. You don't have to wear the vac suit.
Okay.
Again, I cannot emphasize to you enough how much the vac suit would not have helped you in this situation.
The vac suit, A, protects against vacuum. B, protects against any kind of aerosolized neurotoxins. C,
But like,
provides armor rating against, various other types of weapons.
I suppose
like, it-
no one could stab you through a vac suit.
I mean,
Maybe.
I mean, I bet
Well-
I could.
a determined person could, but like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
a determined person who didn't want to get, shot into space after being caught that they were stowing away. Yeah.
or what if it was some kind of horrible alien in the cargo bay and we had to open the door and let it out to space? All of you would have been like, "Wow, Benjamin's a smart guy for putting on his vac suit in an emergency."
I promise you, there are no such thing as aliens.
Yes.
Does Benjamin have the helmet on or with him?
Well, like I took it off just now. I think, like,
Okay, but like when you showed up, it was on.
oh yeah, I was
You just said,
100% ready. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Benjamin, you're perfect. Monty is
Never
the closest
change.
thing to an alien on this ship.
Is he like a Terran domestic toad, or is he like some kind of?
No, he is a genetically modified LSD toad.
Okay.
Do you tell us that?
No, Blue has not told you he is a drug toad.
Oh,
Okay.
Were you
Okay.
just asking that from observational, or does Benjamin actually ask?
Yeah,
like,
actually.
what kind of a toad is it?
well, I would think I would ask. Like, I would look at it and I'd be like, is this just a because things on other planets have developed all kinds of crazy natural defenses that are very bad for humans.
And don't you have some kind of background with animals, as I recall?
Oh shoot,
Benjamin?
you do.
Did I? I don't remember.
As I recall, part of your background was animal, and you had pets on the station.
I
Mhm.
did. Oh my god, I forgot.
You're like an
yeah.
animal lover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You and
yeah.
Monty should be friends.
I will
Don't put
totally.
any of your mucus membranes on him. That's my only advice.
Why?
I don't. I mean, that's not
You're
my
not gonna
first.
Die. You're just.
It's not my
next
first,
few
like-
hours.
When I meet a new animal, that's not my first go-to move. Like,
Them
behold.
immediately.
Yeah, like, hello, cat. Nice to meet you. Touch my eye.
I'm just okay. Jalapeno rules with Monty. He likes to
Oh.
cuddle. He's a very friendly toad. He just
He's a
no
spicy
mucus
toad.
membranes. He's a spicy toad.
Oh, okay.
The toad is spicy.
The toad,
The
is
toad
spicy.
spicy. Oh.
Do not
okay.
put your
Okay.
mucus membranes on the toad.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
wash
wasn't
your-
thinking about it until now.
And wash your hands after playing with the toad. He's very friendly. I can show he plays fetch, but he's a
It plays
spicy
fetch?
toad. He plays fetch. Why would I take a toad that didn't play you know what, never mind. I guess
Good
and
point.
myself.
Well, all right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm down. Do you have to keep live insects for him?
I think he eats pellets.
Okay. That's
Might
good.
eat live insects. I don't think he'd say no to live insects.
No, sure. But it's not like you have to have a cage of
No, that
flies
seems
and
like
crickets and
yeah.
stuff to feed him. Okay.
no, that seems
Ursula
like an
would have
extreme-
noticed those.
Yeah, Ursula would have
Yeah.
noticed that as well. I think he just eats pellets.
Did
Dig
you want me to put that on the procurement list?
No,
No, we're good.
I
It'll
don't
be
want to
nice if
bring
we get,
foreign
like-
insects on the ship if we can help it.
Yeah, it'll be nice if we get like ants in the like galley or something.
I realize that you asked me to turn the alarm off, but Yuma Station is coming up in, I believe, 15 minutes to end of
Oh
jump.
wow, shit.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's soon.
I guess we have to. I assume we can table this mystery tapping for
Yeah. Well, this is going to require some investigation.
definitely.
Sure.
Mm. All right. Well, I'm gonna head back to the bridge. If anyone wants to come with me,
Yeah, I'll go up to the bridge with you.
you can say hi to Monty.
I'll go change.
Why?
Because he's in a vac suit
Oh,
for the
true.
best.
Yeah, you should change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go meet the toad. I'm curious.
Right. I think as just as you're coming out of your jump is when Benjamin steps into the bridge, up under the bridge, back in normal station clothes, in his usual attire. And in front of you, as you come out of jump, is Yuma Station. It is still something you're not used to seeing as you come into. And it is big. It's a 45,000 displacement ton Anchorage class orbital station. As you come up you can see that the docking arm is there's a docking arm for very large ships, and there's other areas where you can actually dock smaller ships. The docking arm is not extended, so there's no extremely large vessels coming in. And as you look at it, you can see that there's it has this kind of like 5 major element sections and kind of ovoid shaped primary hull on the top, almost like a mushroom that then comes down. Then there's a trio of outer rings that are around a central column that have habitation discs that are on them, which is where most of the accommodations are, the better accommodations being towards the outside. In the central column is where their crew quarters and kind of lower quality berths. Below that, as it comes down, is where the large secondary bridge area is. The main bridge is at the very top of the station. And in that kind of, I was thinking of like this dome shaped upper hull. The bridge is at the top, and then that's where the main commercial plaza is. Below that, as you come down to the central column, is where the crew quarters are. Those branch out into then this trio of ringed accommodations, higher level. You go below that is where the secondary hull is, and the massive cargo holds that are there. There are enough people now that are on the station where they've actually converted some of the cargo areas, which is down near kind of the lower ring, to be used for like worker accommodations or lower accommodations, because they've got so many workers here working on the ring that's being built. And they have not built any extant station for that. They've just been housing like an extra like 300 people down in modified cargo hold areas. And then on the very bottom is where machinery and fuel and communications are. So to kind of have a placement on where all those things are, where you were previously, where the underbelly is, and where Parker's Picks is down in what's called subsection U, which is kind of these new areas down in the cargo hold area. Parker decided she didn't want to be up in the commercial plaza because that's where like the other shops are. And everybody up there is just trying to do a big markup because they recognize they're on the fringe. She's more about the people. So she's actually set up some of the more amongst the more makeshift shops that are down there. That's also where the underbelly is. And Benjamin, that's where you've actually found some space to do where you've been doing your broadcasts from there as well. So kind of out of the eye of the upper areas where most of the other stuff takes off. But as you approach the station, you do get a comm link coming up saying, it says, approaching vessel, this is Yuma Station. We weren't expecting your arrival, Ambassador, but if you'd come to docking ring 5, we'd be happy to give you a priority docking slip.
Excuse me? Baking powder?
Why, thank you. We would appreciate this priority docking.
I hope it was all right, Miles, but I noticed in one of the previous ship registries which I've been able to access that it appears that at some point this ship was registered as a diplomatic vessel. So I've just taken those credentials and applied them to the ship's registration. It seemed like that might be something that was beneficial.
Yeah.
Seems pretty useful to me.
Do diplomatic vessels not get? Do people diplomatic immunity is a thing? Like we could. Okay, I'm okay with this.
I mean, yes. For future reference,
Let us know.
yes. Let's make that a decision point as we're approaching a station whether or not we'd like to be tagged as an ambassador ship. Yeah.
Just a quick question. What
I'll make sure to do that in the future. I'm sorry if I've done something incorrect.
what flag state do we represent?
Bill needs to go grab that real quick.
Oh yeah, ambassador of what?
Right.
I truly love how helpful Ursula is in just like all the weirdest ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if we're the ambassador from the evil Republic of Evil, like we should know before we land.
Yeah, I'm worried about someone coming to meet us.
The ship is registered. The ambassadorial designation for the ship was registered to Centris.
And you know that is a more of a like hubward world. So like very far from here. Obviously not impossible for the ship to get here. But you don't expect, like there's no way they're going to be quickly checking up on you or anything.
Okay.
It is unless somebody was able to use a ring, which you don't have one here, right? So there's this is months of jump travel away.
Mm-hmm.
Many months of jump travel away.
What's the likelihood someone's going to come meet us at docking, though? All right, well, I'm gonna.
I don't know. Have you ever traveled with an ambassador before?
No,
So,
actually,
like,
maybe.
What's the like just general atmosphere of Centris? Like, have I ever heard of it before? Is it?
It's what you would know would be probably. Well, why don't you make a roll? Why don't you tell me what
Sure.
you know about it?
We find out they eat babies. Would Miles or I have anything to do with haven't had anything to do with Centris? Considering, or like escorting ambassadors places.
I don't think you would have blew Miles. You probably have some passing knowledge just from the of what that is. I mean, there are commonly numerous ambassadors,
Got it.
right, on a planet. It's not like there's a single ambassador. So, it would not be uncommon. Well, it's not common, but it wouldn't be like unique, right? For it to be like, oh, here's a ship that has ambassadorial clearance, right? It's like it could be any number of an ambassador from a place. Don't even have to be an ambassador here. Just like, it's, if you think about like the U.S., how many ambassadors we have just on our planet. Now magnify that by, a galaxy.
And just to clarify as well, we're not like for the future screwed in that, like, every time we come back to Yuma Station, they think we're an ambassador ship. Like, it's entirely possible that we were just transporting one.
It depends if you think it's screwed. You could if you want to say, but it's not really us. We were just using the code from this ambassador we transported and dropped off, right? But right now the ship reads as by the way, this is one of the quirks you guys rolled, which is called diplomatic plates.
Oh.
Right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
This ship is registered now
That's a
as yes, and so you will get preferential docking.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
Listen, it's totally useful sometimes. Like,
Totally.
as a dude that used to drive a completely generic black Lincoln Town car, like,
Yeah.
I was waved into special parking at the airport by security because they thought I was somebody just there to pick up somebody, and I was like, sure, I'll just park and pick up my mother-in-law. Like, whatever, it's fine. Like,
Totally
it'll be okay.
Yeah, and like us having ambassadorial clearance could be anything from we are a black Lincoln Town car that just happens to transport them every once in a while to this is a personal ship of someone.
Exactly.
So
Mm-hmm.
not super worried, but yeah, we weren't sure if we had to like exit the ship pretending to speak whatever they speak in Centris.
Or we could exit the
They
ship and
speak
say the ambassador.
You all speak Terran. Everybody speaks Terran. I mean,
there's
there's definitely different languages, that are more based on point of origin or slang that gets picked up in different spaces, right? So any of the Earth mother tongues exist,
right?
Of course, with hundreds of years of evolution on it, right? So just like modern day American is not, Elizabethan English, you still can kind of understand it, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I also just wanted to make sure that, like, if we leave and come back in a week, they're not going to be like, "Hey, what happened to your ambassador?"
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, nobody's
The ambassador
probably,
prefers to stay on the ship.
That
not bother
is
the ambassador.
definitely yes.
Yeah, Ambassador
Now,
Monty.
Yep. Our ambassador
Yes.
is on the ship.
Ambassador Montgomery.
there's
So on my knowledge of Centris, I rolled an 8 on the dice.
okay.
So
Sure, because I imagine some of that would be either intelligence or education based, and you're getting like the kind of traveler's handbook version.
Yeah.
Of what it is, but yeah, Centris is a populated world that has a lot of import and export, and it's considered one of the hub worlds because of its proximity to Terra. So it doesn't have anything in particular noted about it. At a high level, it's not like it's a military base operation or there's been civil strife on it. It's one of the central hub worlds that has some of the, I would say probably the biggest thing about it is that it's known for is the fact that it has one of the oldest running democracies of any of the hub worlds. So, it looks like whenever they were colonized, they leaned very heavily on the political structure, one of the older political structures from Terra, and have kept that going. So,
does Ursula have any information about like their fashion or there anything about them? Culturally
I could
speaking?
connect into the station's database if you'd like.
Oh, not yet. I just was curious if you had any local information about them.
I'm not finding anything in particular in
Okay,
that regard in my data banks.
but it's perfectly fine. I was just curious. I want to keep you safe from any external threats. So until we, get everything all checked out and updated, etc.
I appreciate that, Benjamin.
But yeah, out of character, it wouldn't hurt if one of us got off the boat wearing the right kind of clothes or something close to it.
Or we could pick it up when we get. Remember that everything, all the information they're going to have about centrist fashion is going to be however many months out of date anyway.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be cutting edge. It just has to be like, is that the planet where they always wear smoking jackets and lounge robes? Or is it the
Yeah.
planet where...
Yeah.
We will
You
have
know-
to do some research between now and getting back to like at some point in the next few
Yeah.
days.
Sure. So they'll direct you to one of the upper pylon docking stations.
Mm-hmm.
And there's kind of like, just like accommodations, docking slips are of various kinds as well. Where you met Ezra was down in the lower portion of the station. They're directing you to the upper portion of the station.
Mm. Well, la di da.
Fancy.
And yep, they'll bring you in. There's a dock and it's interesting because the docking where they have you go in is less of a something that actually physically connects to the ship, but it's more where you park your ship, and then they basically use like energy beams to help hold you in a because it doesn't really orbit, but to help hold you there.
Mm-hmm.
The only arm that physically connects to the ship is the massive docking arm that comes out when they've got we've got tons of stuff coming in. So from your ship, you'd actually need to take the and you can see lots of little places where like ship's boats can actually join into. So it's kind of designed like you bring your ship up, they dock you in a space, and then to go between the station and your ship is like a small personalized shuttle thing. You have a ship's boat, or they'll send one out for you.
It would be referred to as
they probably send one out for you. Like
it'd be referred to as a limousine.
that's right.
I mean, I'm
Like-
not mad at it.
Even in terms of yachts and the covered boats that the super fancy yachts have, they're still limousines.
Yeah. So they will, it's easy to get that limousine service that come out and, will then pull it next to you on the ship. With
Cool.
a flexible
Okay.
attachment.
In that case, yeah, I don't think there's anything I need to do before we land.
While docking is going on, I'm gonna go get fancied up, like just generically as nice as I can
Like
get
your
myself.
super nicest Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Look, if I don't know that Centris is a tiki planet, then they don't know that Centris isn't a tiki planet.
Exactly.
Centris is now a tiki planet. All right. Gonna put on a clean pair of sweats and maybe comb my hair.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Alrighty. You've docked. The limousine has pulled up and extended the boarding arm, the boarding tube.
Mm-hmm.
and as you go across, I'm assuming you're going to take the limousine into the station. You can see that it's actually it's run autonomously. There's not a person on it. It's,
good.
It's a smart vehicle. It doesn't have anything really difficult to do. It goes, extends an arm, comes back. So that certainly can be handled. And as you come back to the station, you are it brings you and lets you off near the in one of the commercial plaza entrance points. So basically, it pulls up and tube extends out. Right, so it's a flexible to rigid tube system. So once it connects, it becomes basically a round hallway.
Monty, you're in charge.
Yep. Ursula? Well, Ursula, you're in charge.
Like that. That's how, as we're leaving, Ursula's like,
Here, we have a way to like
Of
lock
course,
ship
Miles.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yes, you can. There's a security system you can set. So it's got your however you want to code it. You can use biometrics, or you can.
Yeah, let's use the biometrics just to be very safe.
Right.
Sounds good.
I'll also make sure that if you don't want anyone else to come on the ship, they don't come on the ship.
Will a
Do you have all of your data stored?
will a neural comm link back to Ursula?
Yes.
Oh, because you have a neural comm, right?
I have a
Blue?
neural comm.
Yeah.
It's my excuse for being able to pop into people's brains later.
Yes, I think you could use your neural comm to port into the communications data port here. I can certainly accommodate that. Would you like to try now?
Sure. I didn't think that I would need it because I never assumed that I'd be able to talk to a ship. So, this seems useful.
And now the next thing, only Blue hears. No one else hears. Like,
Are you receiving this, Blue?
Seeing, no. Hearing, yes.
Receiving. I'm sorry.
Receiving, yes. Yeah. Okay. This can only end well. Cool.
It appears that we've established a communications link. Excellent. I'll make sure this channel stays open.
I can talk to the ship in my brain, guys.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Very cool.
letting an AI into your brain directly is always an awesome idea.
Blue is full of sci-fi tropes that have never gone wrong ever.
So you will be deposited in the commercial plaza. Has Miles and Blue, you've never been up here because you literally came in where your ship came in was through actually the docking arm because you were on you were on different ships. Miles, you would have come in through the docking arm because of the ship that you were on. Blue, you came in on your contact's ship.
Mhm.
As I recall, I think you were on Porsche's ship.
Mhm.
And so you came in those lower levels as well, right? So you were all kind of in that mid-lower level area. Benjamin or Sal, you've been here a little longer. Have either of you ventured up to the commercial ring before?
Oh yeah, I think I've been everywhere.
Yeah. I think Sal would want to know the lay of the land and
Right.
Where the potential jobs are.
Yeah, so this is definitely that you'll all see in as Sal and Benjamin. No, this is a much more what you would expect to see on a space station or a fairly well appointed city. It is definitely something more along the lines, if I'm going to use tropes you would know, something like the Zocalo, right, from DS9. Was it Zocalo?
The
on
Promenade.
DS9? The Promenade on DS9, or the Zocalo from Babylon 5.
Okay.
Same thing. Yeah, because same show. Sorry, but very different shows, but that same idea, right? Where that stations. So there's a lot of different shops that are set up. It's fairly bustling. There's not really a lot of tourists that come through here. It is a mix of the people that you would see here that are passing through are ones that are more less pleasure seekers, but more well-apportioned explorers. There's plenty of people that come in and out in the lower decks because a lot of folks have sold everything they have to people to get passage here or scrap together, a share of a ship that they're serving on and are here, or are here to work either on the ring or are kind of processing through before they go to the mining colony. So, but up here, you're going to see people that work on the ship that are, part of the crew of the ship. And there's, a good, like over 500 people that crew Yuma Station. But the people that come through that would be like you that aren't here, are going to be people that are fairly well apportioned, that are probably out here because they're associated with one of the megacorps, or they're, out here on a, that they're part of more of an expedition, right? Like they may be funded as they've come out here. And more than likely, the vast majority of them are part of some kind of funded endeavor. There might be some rich individuals that are coming through here that possibly have their own ship. It's kind of a mixed bag, but you're going to have the higher end folks up here, and sketchier folks in the lower decks. But there's pretty much anything you think you might want to find is probably available in the commercial plaza. And no one is there to greet you.
Cool, that's good.
That's good. I mean, I guess this is the sort of thing where we look at everyone and be like, okay, so synchronize our watches. Let's.
Well, even if we don't,
here?
even if we don't have like fancy neural comm links, we have
comm
links. We could call each other.
Communication devices, sure.
Yeah.
This
but
is
let's just plan to meet back here in like an hour or so, or a
Mhm.
couple of hours.
Yeah, let's meet up in a couple of hours.
Sure.
Take care of anything we need to take care of. We're looking for Miles, you're looking to find something to work on the radiation leak.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Uh,
Looking to fix the reactor leak.
What are the other problems with our ship? I have to go back and look. We don't have that many.
The
I'll look
astrogation computer is super old.
Oh yeah.
I'll look
And
into
janky.
upgrading the astrogation computer, although I may not be the person to do it. If anyone has better connections in that regard. No?
Nope, that works for me.
Okay, I'll check in on the astrogation.
And then I'll focus on communications and computer security stuff.
Mhm.
Okay. And what about you, Sal? What do you want to go do?
You know what? I might be able to help Blue source some astrogation help. Just because I've been here longer, I probably know.
I have a -1 to social. Please come with me.
I am also bad at social, but I have guns.
I appreciate that.
Well, like,
Social through superior firepower.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a quick roundabout. Miles, there are definitely ship repair facilities here. Most of them are actually run through the station because they're the ones that have access. There's no real private, like nobody who's hung their shingle out saying like, I do ship repairs. There is a bit of that in the lower levels, but up here, there's you can get the station dock to do repairs to ships. So they're happy to talk to you about your issue with your reactor. They ask you what model it is, and you find that that's a very difficult question to answer because it really isn't. It's one of the heavily modified systems.
Yeah, it's got a lot of aftermarket parts, a lot of jury rigging here, so it's a little bit like, what do you have that I think will fit?
Right.
And
Now, are
these repairs I can make myself?
Yes, so that's definitely what I was just going to ask. Like, well, so did you want to make these repairs for yourself, or were you interested in having us have a go at it, sir?
Let's start with making the repairs myself. The ship is it's heavily modded and it's a little temperamental. So let me see if I can do it myself, and then if not, I'll call for help. So we've got a reactor leak, and we are looking to address that situation.
Well, I could quote you some basics on what those parts might cost, and then you'd have to let us know if there's anything else you need that's of a more specialized nature. We do have a fabrication shop. We could custom print you some parts if that's required. So why don't you make an engineering roll to explain to him what it is you're trying to get?
All right, and is this still engineering?
Yeah, engineering
drive
plus
plant?
yes. So this is engineering. So it's the reactor. So yes, that works.
Great.
So it'll be your engineering, which is your specialty, is power plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then either int or edu, depending on how you're trying to explain it to them.
I got a 7.
Okay. It's like, seems like it might be. I'm sure it's me, sir. This is why I'm not understanding it. It just seems like, some of the systems are definitely nothing I've had any experience with. And I could be happy to quote you some basic parts out, which you might need to address some kind of reactor issue. Or if you like, I could accompany you to the ship and have a more eyes-on look, and then that might help me give you a better estimate on what it would cost to repair, or for the parts.
You know what? Let's do that. I was just thinking it may be better if you come take a look and you give us an assessment, even if it's work that I can do myself, just to know exactly what parts we're going to get.
Excellent. Would you like an appointment for tomorrow morning?
Is that the earliest?
What dock are you in, sir?
We're in the upper ring.
Right. You give him the ship name and the dock. Oh, yes. Well, I see you're in one of the VIP docks. Well, I'm certain we can move some things around to attend to it. Would 3 hours from now be convenient?
That should be good. That should be great. Yes.
Well, excellent. I will meet you at the limousine stand.
Excellent. I will meet you there.
Great. Sal and Blue.
Yes.
So there is also a section of the station here that deals with astrogation and onboard computers and basically shipboard systems, right? Not things that you'd be putting into vehicles, but it's definitely ships systems. And they're happy to talk to you about your needs. It sounds like you might have, wow, that sounds like a pretty old astrogation system. Sounds like vintage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to swap it out? You want to update it? I don't even know if we could update. I guess we could figure out some kind of interface to use.
If you could update it, that would be better. I prefer that to swapping it out. Is the astrogation system we have part of the original ship?
Yeah. It's. It looks like it's that old.
Updating the astrogation system won't mess with Ursula at all, will it?
Probably not. You could always ask her.
I'm gonna check with Ursula really fast.
Go ahead.
Updating. I'm gonna say it out loud. Just updating the ship, the astrogation. Would that affect any onboard computing systems other than that?
And so the person go, no, the astrogation systems are usually pretty self-contained. They do have to tie into the main computer processing units, but it's pretty much a self-contained. And then you hear,
no, I don't think it'd be a problem, Blue. I don't see that it would cause any cause for concern at all.
Wonderful. I think.
Yeah. So you could do that, and it wouldn't be a problem. I don't think.
I'm happy. How much is it going to cost us?
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of system you want. Just like a basic system is about 50,000. Or if you want a more, the best one I've got runs about 80. But that actually has a self-updating software package that comes with it, and also allows you to custom write your own software in. Should you be doing any exploring? I find that one's pretty popular for people that are going to be, heading out in the fringe and want to be actually entering their own specific astrogation information.
I'm gonna pull Sal aside for a second. I can foot the cost for 50,000, but 80,000 is not doable on me alone. I do think we need as a decent astrogation system. That's not something that we should be without.
I agree. I think that's going to be pretty important for us. I could definitely kick in a little extra for an upgraded system.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, us halvesies alone is fine. I think we can do.
Yeah.
Sure.
We might want to see if we can get a lower price, considering we are parked in the VIP berth right now.
Yeah.
Maybe have a diplomatic discount.
Right. So you come back and say that? Okay. So you got to talk about. Let me know when you're back to the to the attendant.
We come back. I'm gonna let Sal field that one.
So I've been just standing menacingly behind her, like she's in charge and I'm security. And I'll just clear my throat. Excuse me, Miss Blue. Shouldn't they be offering you a diplomatic discount since we are parked in? And I'll give the birth name or whatever.
That's true. It is a diplomatic ship.
Oh, what was the ship again?
I'll give him the birth again.
Okay. Looks it up. It says like I didn't realize, of course. Certainly we could offer you a discount for visiting dignitaries. We don't get a lot here, but we like to make sure that you're well taken care of. It is a 10% discount. So that would, on the top one then, would take to 72, and the lower one be 45.
I mean, does that sound better to you, Sal?
That sounds much more in line with what we're used to.
Let me check in with our associates and our representative and see what we can, and see if before we sign anything. But I think that'll work. And I'll ping the rest of the group.
Sure. Do you neural calm the rest of the group?
No, I'm gonna text them.
Well, I mean, you can either pull out your thing and talk to them, or you can just do it. That's what I'm saying.
No. I'm just gonna go through whatever traditional means. I'm not gonna just neural calm them.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, neural comms are not uncommon.
No, I know.
Right?
It just seems unnecessary at this very minute.
And they all know you have one. I mean, it's. But yes, if you don't want to let on to anybody that you've got one, then you would pull out your.
Yeah, it just seems like it. Look, a neurocom is great for when you don't have hands.
Sure.
So we start shopping, and there are too many bags. We'll switch to neurocoms.
Okay, we'll go ahead and make your call.
Yeah, just checking in with them. Well, I mean, I'll just check in. We're okay with a $72,000 credit upgrade.
I mean, that sounds real nice, but have we? I don't want to spend us out of being able to fix the thing that's going to cause us health problems down the road.
Yeah, did we get a quote for the?
We didn't. The guy's gonna come to the ship to take a look, just because our reactor situation is so particular. So we need to get he's gonna come and get us a quote. I'm mostly asking about parts, so hopefully it'll be a little cheaper if we just do parts and not labor, and I do the labor. But we'll see what he says.
I may be able to help you with labor.
Yeah.
My hope. Do any of us know anyone who's good with software?
Isn't Benjamin?
I'm pretty good with computer software.
Okay, so could
Yeah.
you update an astrogation system? Because the main thing that I want from the current one from the that's the difference is that we can update the nicer version.
Well, I mean, I totally support that. Here's something that I just started to think about: is what if we charge it to the Centris diplomatic account?
Just get it on Centris credit. That'll definitely
I mean-
end well for us.
I mean, by the
Fine.
time they even get the invoice, we'll be not hanging out here.
Are we
Or-
not? I mean, like,
Just a
how
thought.
much is 72,000.
I mean,
I'm not opposed to it. Maybe we should get the total for all the repairs that we need and then prioritize.
I think those are the two main repairs. I think everything else is everything
Yeah,
else.
Kind of optional. Yeah,
Unless
that's
you
true.
know unless you can know an exorcist, I think we're fine.
yeah, I mean, we might need to stock up a little bit. but
Well,
yeah,
I mean, I can call somebody, but he wouldn't be able to get here for at least a couple months.
Yeah.
In that case, I mean, it's just between this and the engine repair then. So I guess we'll wait to get that quote and then we can. This is compelling storytelling, my friends. Let's get the quote.
I know
and
this is
move
exciting.
on.
It's gone a little longer, but it's it's about to lead to a thing. I think. Dave, what are you doing? What's Benjamin doing while they're prices?
I'm gonna see. I really am gonna see what about upgrading to a more modern transmitter array. That something that could more quickly interface with the whatever 15G network.
Right. So you want to upgrade the comms array.
Yeah, just so that
on
I
the
can do
ship.
my recordings and post them from the ship
Sure.
without.
Yeah. So an updated, if you want to have a brand new ship's comm array put in, it's about 200,000.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, it occurred to me our jump drive is also fucked.
No, our jump drive is not.
Jump drive is super good.
No. It spins up fast, but it needs frequent calibration.
Yeah.
So we could. I don't know that changing anything about the jump drive will change both those quirks. But I'm looking at the quirks now, and I was like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
Any-
we'll sort that one out later.
I think
That
that's
one's
a
a-
negative and a positive.
Yeah.
All right.
Like the radiation leak and the not knowing where we're
Oh
going.
yeah,
Probably
Yeah, those-
pretty high
Those are
priority.
priorities.
those two things are the
Top
super
priorities.
priority. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure. Yeah. In that case,
Did-
I'm waiting for Miles's response.
I'm sorry, I've forgotten. Did the ship have any actual weapons or just the turret?
No, it's got weapons. It's got laser cannon.
Yeah, and
Okay.
in addition to the turret's extra.
Yeah,
as
that
a prop.
basically
Right.
on top
Turret.
there's a turret
Oh,
with the laser, and then on the bottom there's been another one added.
Yep, the belly
Okay.
turret
The
is
belly
the
turret.
surprise.
But yes, it has.
Dig it.
Yeah, it's not just hey, look, a fishbowl. Yeah, there's weapons in there.
Well, I mean, you can actually just have mounting points that aren't filled
Yeah,
yet,
no, that's
kind of
yeah,
thing.
no, it is.
Okay.
It's fully operational.
Let's get all of the estimates, and then we'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, he'll come out to the ship. He'll look at it, and he's like, "Ooh, oh, sir, this is. Whew, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
It's incredibly interesting. I almost don't know where to start. I think. I mean, if it's yours and you've been tinkering with it, then you may know more than me. But I think if I was giving you unless you wanted to completely replace the reactor, I would estimate that in parts it'd probably be to give you a wide enough array, and some of them you may return. I will say
Mhm.
that because I don't.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen anything like this before. I'd say safely if you estimated 350,000 credits, and then
Okay.
I don't know if you'd actually need all those. I mean, if I was just going to
Right.
make
We might
the
get some
launch
of it
delivery,
back, but okay.
and certainly cheaper than having us do it, because I don't even know if I could estimate that at this point. I don't know who'd
Yeah,
even
don't
work on
worry
it
about
here.
that. We just need the parts, not the labor. We can handle the labor. Excellent. Well, thank you for your estimate. Let me confer with my compatriots, and we will be in touch shortly.
Oh yes, yes, very good, very good.
On you go.
Yeah,
Get
and
him off the ship.
oh yeah, he leaves.
Yep. Cool. So 350,000, and what was your estimate on the astrogation?
72,000.
400,000 credits, which is definitely richer than my blood.
Same.
And then
Although,
Benjamin's system is 200,000 more, but I don't know if that's how personal that is to you, Benjamin. I mean, your comm
Well-
works.
So 600,000 credits, if maybe we could see about tacking that onto our ship payment, that's only another 3,000 credits a month.
our fantasy game. Is
Not to
starting
pull
look a lot
that-
like student
Not to pull
loans.
that like car dealership manager that's like, if you get the extended warranty, it's only another $200. No.
True.
It's
Or,
not-
alternatively, we could go and find a job.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
No, for sure. Actually, that
and
was
you
the other
and
thing
you
I wanted
have
to
at this
do.
point, Miles, received the confirmation back from the bank that your
Mhm.
loan is in, and you do notice that the payment is what you agreed to, but the loan amount is considerably more.
Mm.
So you're not paying more for it. It just looks like there was a much larger down against the ship. So
Huh.
Is this something we need to beat up Ezra about?
I mean, he was pretty straightforward about like, I need to launder a bunch of money, guys.
That
That's
is
also true. So listen,
So-
as long as
So
we're not
like,
paying more,
basically, right, the way he put it to you is it's going to be a win-win. You're going to get this ship for 14 and you're going to, here's going to be your payment, which is about 60,000. But, you look at the ship and it's like, oh, wow, yes, there was much more that came in as a down payment against that ship
all right.
Mhm.
Listen, whatever works.
than yours.
Cool. So
Well,
I say let's find a job. Let's find a job that we can do. Hopefully, one that can. We can do with the ship as is, and then come back and try to pay for stuff.
Sounds good to me.
well, I mean, I don't know how much we could piece together on the radiation leaking engine.
We could pay for the radiation leaking and then do everything else after, or we could see if we could get it on credit and then pay it off along with everything else at the next job.
I mean,
I mean,
I don't have a like radiation leak. To me, sounds like a very scary thing, and I don't want to mess around with it.
Mhm.
Eh,
But
Well,
like,
radiation.
if it's only a little bit, I guess maybe that's fine.
Ursula
I
did
mean-
say it was pretty intermittent.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ursula,
All
what
the
risk
time.
are we running here if we try to operate for say a couple of months even with the reactor as is?
Well, it's not a persistent leak, and it's difficult for me to ascertain what would cause the rad spikes. So I suppose it really depends on how often you're jumping, because it seems to be only associated with the jump drives.
I guess if we don't jump there, if whatever we do
Yeah.
doesn't require jumping that much, we can get a by with a lot.
Yeah, let's see if there's a local job that we can do. Sal, I assume or not assume. I don't mean to assume, but I'm wondering if possibly, your networks would have, I don't know if there's a job board, an online forum, whatever.
Sal, there's definitely a dark web that you can access that has
Okay.
The dark web.
Yeah.
jobs.
Gosh.
Sounds good. Let's check it out.
Right. I'd assume I'm going to basically kind of make an assumption that each of you have some connection into a way to look for some level of employment.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Blue definitely has her contacts with the people that helped her get here. Miles, you definitely have contacts in through either old Navy sources or your social standing may net you some things. Sal, you obviously have connections in through the dark net, to find jobs that are more to your particular skill set.
Yeah.
And Benjamin, God knows where you get your information, but you do occasionally find interesting things to track down.
Sure. I'm sorry. I just started laughing about the old Navy connections. Like,
Yeah.
Get a nice slacks.
All right, let's see what's on the old crime boards for.
It's a crime forum.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and roll against your streetwise. Just tell me what you get.
Come on, go ahead. All right. Well, that's an 8 on the dice. So.
And what's your streetwise?
0, so it doesn't give
Okay.
me any pluses,
Great.
but I got 8.
There is as I look at my guide here, there because I'm assuming you're kind of looking for something of size,
Yeah.
price range wise, right? Like there's like a lot of low level stuff and things like if it was just you, right? You'd be like, oh, that'd be an okay job for a couple weeks, or
Something
doing
a little
some-
bigger though, since there's 4 of us now.
Right. There is a listing for someone who's looking for what's called ship spotters. It's kind of innocuous in the way that it's listed, but that ship spotters are basically bounty hunters looking for specific vessels.
Okay.
They tend to operate in conjunction with financial organizations, or if it's a ship where someone has decided to skip on payments, and they've had not much luck locating the ship. And there's like 3 or 4 vessels that are currently listed that may be in the Renzoria subsector. Right.
Okay.
So by the time it hits the dark net, it's just like, wow, people have probably been looking for these ships for a while, or it's a really big bounty that's against it. And it's the payment is always like a small percentage, like, 0.5 to 1% of like the outstanding
Okay.
against it. So they're a bit speculative, but if you want to try to find some ships that may be in the subsector, the payoff's pretty big.
While
Cool.
you're there, check and see if our ship is on there.
That's a good point. Do any of these ships sound like what we're driving around in?
There are no like K-class ships.
Okay.
There's none that are a Safari class style ship, and certainly nothing that even sounds like older vessels.
Okay.
Like 3 of them are far traders. So obviously people that have been trying to do trade and shipment and cargo, or what have they, or maybe they haven't, but that's the style of ships they are. And one of them is a yacht.
Okay. So I'll like download all the info on these ships that I can, so that we can potentially identify them, like name what they look like, last seen, all that kind of good stuff.
Right.
And could definitely be worth looking into. Cool. Alrighty.
All right. Does anybody else want to try to check?
I can reach out to my contacts, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
If we want to get into the fun life of animal smuggling.
Good.
Yeah, you reach out. Do you reach out to Lyle or Portia?
Portia first. I think we're closer.
Okay. Yeah. So Portia's like, hey, Blue, good to hear from you. How are things working out on the station?
Okay, we got sort of a piece of crap ship.
Well, you got to start somewhere, girl.
Exactly.
I can hear you.
God, the ship can hear me. Ursula doesn't mind. It's not anything specific. I mean, it's just old. There are a lot of things that it needs some replacing. I was just looking to make a little bit of cash, and I know that you might. I was wondering if you maybe had a little bit of work.
Ooh, boy, something outside of what I've already got going.
I mean,
Yeah,
I will
I definitely have an opportunity to double a run if you're all good for hauling cargo. It's not exciting, but
I'm truly happy with not exciting. It's the what's the cargo, if you don't mind me asking.
yeah. Oh no. Hey, of course not. I'm not going to have you. We're pretty close to family. I'm not going to try to have you take something that I'm not going to tell you what it is.
I mean, also, Lyle. There's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, this isn't with Lyle. This is not a Lyle thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lyle definitely pulled me out of the fire. And we've done some great stuff together, but yeah, I kind of just needed a break from.
That makes all the sense.
Yeah. And because I still haven't got all the smell out of Bay 2. Let me just say it's.
Yeah.
Anyway, you spent your time. No, yeah, this is actually it's pretty easy run. It's going out to it's next sector over, so it's not out where you guys are, but it's just a 2 jumps from where you are. I've actually got some machinery and medical supplies that I'm running out to a colony. I was going to have to do 2 runs to make it, but if you guys come out, we can do it all in one run, and then you can just take half the cut. Definitely saves me some time.
Not to ask too many questions on it, but machinery and medical supplies seems something that is a little more above board than I would assume you were trading in.
Well, sure. Everybody needs machinery and medical supplies, and people don't tend to ask, especially when you're bringing medical supplies. It's got a pretty good profit margin though. Because there's some other stuff in there. I mean, I don't know how much you want to know about.
I don't need to know more
there.
right now. No, that makes a lot of sense. I guess. You said 2 jumps though?
Yeah, it's a jump 2. I mean, I don't know if you've got a jump 1 ship or jump. You said it's kind of a hunk, junk. So I don't know if you've got bigger than a J1 drive. But it's
what our drive
you guys have a J2 drive. So yeah.
I guess my worry is only that with the radiation leak, I mean we should be okay for a jump, right?
Sure.
Right, Ursula?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you asking? Yes. As far as I can tell, there was no spikes that were occurring on the jump here.
Okay, in that case, that sounds doable. Let me check with the crew, and I can't imagine. Well, we'll see. It's working with a team. You have to make compromises, apparently.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff that we did that, we kind of made sure we checked in with each other. But of course, it was my ship. I don't know if this is your ship or what your situation is, but sounds like you've got some people you're running with now. And if you need work, I can help you out.
Thanks. Yeah. And yeah, I'll relay that job to the rest of them.
Okay.
The rest of the group.
Miles Benjamin, do you want to see if you've got opportunities?
Yeah, I'd like to check in with some of my old naval friends.
Good pivot to naval and old Navy friends. Yeah, there's you reach out to some of the crew that you worked with before, especially because you were last assigned to the station.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, hey, yeah, Miles, really good to hear from you, man. Really good to hear from you. I do have a pretty interesting thing. You'd actually be great for it. Do you have a ship?
Yeah, yep, that's exactly what I'm asking. We've got a ship, a bit of a crew going, and yeah, we were looking for a little work. What do you got?
So my commander got put in charge of simulated war games.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been talking about what we could do because since last time we talked, I've been bumped up to chief of staff.
Oh,
and so
great.
I get pulled in these meetings now. And it just hit me. We could introduce a scenario where civilian ships are introduced, but then you're part of the op, and it's how the team responds to basically a surprise assault scenario. You've got the training for it, right? They wouldn't suspect that. Everything's loaded with marker tracers.
Okay,
right?
So they're not actually shooting live.
Right.
rounds.
No, it's like that. And he references when you went through this kind of training,
War
right?
games,
He's like,
got it.
yeah, of course, it's all war game set up. It's all basically computer simulated, but this is the stage where, right, all the recruits are getting into the ships,
Mhm.
right? And actually getting that live scenario training. Of course we give you all the software that you need to run, so we're all tied up in the same
Mhm.
simulation. It'd be great because if you bring the ship, I know I can get you a better cut than if you're using one of our marked ships. Plus the fact, none of the ensigns and even some of the officers would have any idea, because a lot of them, I can tell, have been trying to research what ships we might use to get an edge up, and I would love to be able to surprise them and have something just.
I'm liking this. What kind of fee is involved in this?
All right. Well, you're going to bring the ship,
Mhm.
so that means we're going to save on maintenance costs and that. I'm pretty sure I could get you like 250, maybe 3. Definitely 250 and fuel.
250 and fuel. All right. Well, I'm intrigued and I'm interested. So let me take this back to my crew. We all have equal shares in the ship, so that's why.
Oh yeah, of course,
decision.
yeah.
And I will get back to you shortly.
Yeah. It's. I mean, and I'll send you all. It's going to be based out of the station, right? So it's where you served
send
before.
Me all the specs and all,
yeah, I'll send you what I can declassify what I can send you on it, of course. Yeah. But yeah, he goes elsewhere, and I will buy around, right, at the wing.
That. I like that.
Which in the wing, is the bar where you and Sal actually met. Like that's the.
That sounds
like,
great.
Like, yeah, and so that's great. Yeah, so let me know.
All right, I will get back to you.
Okay, and Dave, does Benjamin have anything he wants to look for?
Oh yeah, totally. Because so far it sounds like we've got 3 jobs we can do at the same time.
What?
Yeah.
I like it.
I mean, we can keep our eyes out for missing ships. We can transport some critters as medical supplies or whatnot, and we can go pretend to get shot at. Like, it's fine. It's all good. Not that I know any of that stuff, but out of character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
Multitasking, I like it.
So, you how do you look? What are you looking for?
I think I'm specifically looking for like I'm gonna check like my version of Patreon, right? Like see if there's like any wealthy interested individuals that are thinking like maybe there's something out this way to go look for, or maybe they've heard some rumors about government experimentation on civilians at the edge of space, or what, like any kind of stories like that maybe it's something that like I could just publish and make some sponsorship money
Sure.
on, like something like that.
There
Would be fine.
there are rumors. There's a lot of rumors out in Renzoria of like almost like treasure lore stories. And one that you've seen repeated, like some are just like they're out there, you see it, it goes away. But one that tends to get repeated is about a planet that is rumored to have artifacts on it. Now, it's very vague and it's very sketchy, and it all kind of centers around this one artifact that was brought back by an exploration ship, and it's somewhat unidentified. It's definitely not Terran in make, and so now there's a bit of an uproar around, like no one's been able to prove this thing is from Terra, right? If it's a forgery, it's a masterwork. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's because it isn't. That's because this is the first actual proof of something else out there than us. It's somewhat unclear as to where it is, but it's probably something you might be able to, if you could find it, if you could find this planet, right, that's untold riches and proves you right, you could probably find some grouping of your fans that would put money towards you doing an exclusive expedition. So you could basically crowdsource. You could Patreon,
like a Kickstarter for like an expedition. Yes. GoFundMe, find proof of aliens.
Yeah. But but you'll have to do some casting about it and build up enough of a fervor. But you think that like in the span of like probably a month or so, you'd be able to build up enough to then do a spatial GoFundMe to get people to kick in enough for you to like take the ship and look for this. It's probably nothing that you think like immediately has a big payout on it, but it'd be crowdsourcing enough money for you to actually go try to find this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I will absolutely start. Even if it doesn't help us with the repair costs we need now, it'll help us with the mortgage payment.
Sure.
So I would go for that.
Excellent. So these will be the opportunities that we will discuss in our off time, since we are hitting the past 10 at this point. And I think there's good stuff to be considered. We'll make the choice on what we kick off on, or multiple things, as Benjamin notes, that you may be able to do some of these simultaneously. Do you end up back on the ship? Are you gonna be staying on the ship? Or are you gonna like get lodging on the station.
I'm
What's your-
happy to meet
No,
back
I-
on the ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would rather stay on the ship.
Yeah, I agree.
Great. Yeah, as you come back on,
Welcome back. Did you find everything that you needed?
Sort of.
Sort of. We've got some decisions to make, but I think it was a successful trip.
I've taken the liberty of putting together a list to replenish your stores.
Great.
I didn't
Thank
know
you.
if you wanted to actually maintain the same level of nutritional intake that was there before. But I've at least put together the list that would be required to bring things back to where they were.
That sounds great. Let's do that.
Well,
Thank you, Ursula.
maybe like a little better, like a little bit more fresh foods, that kind of a thing
Certainly, I'm happy to do that.
would be good. I mean, we can always bump it up if we have like VIP guests on board, but be nice to have a banana now and then.
Yes, and Benjamin, did you have any luck in finding any more defensive protocols? You've actually gotten me quite concerned
Well, I
about
did.
system attacks.
We're gonna have to spend a little time making some money to pay for some of the upgrades because they're quite expensive, as you can imagine. It's been quite some time since you've had new hardware installed. But we'll spend a little time and get things going. I think if the need arises, you can use your best judgment. You seem like you've got a handle on keeping yourself safe. But that we can risk some contact, out there. But I just don't want to push in that direction too quickly.
That makes complete sense. I'm sure Xanthus can help.
Absolutely.
Wait, you checked
and
it?
that's
You
where
got-
we'll end.
What?
Ah!
How dare?
Actually, wait 1 second. I think what she says is,
And I'm sure Xanthus can help.
It would be my pleasure to assist you.
Oh, good.
There
Oh
it
boy.
is.
There's
There it is.
two.
It's just a whole family of AI.
Oh boy. This is gonna be a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dissociative
Yep.
identity disorder
Oh, I
computer
love the
is
idea of
just
a
perfect.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
So, thank you everyone for playing. That's the end. Thank you for playing. Yes, thank you very much.
we hope that everyone who watched enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed playing. I hope you enjoyed watching. Please join us every other Monday. Our next session is on Monday, April 5th. We start at 7 p.m. Pacific time and end hopefully close to 10, which we're around right now. If you want to catch up on past episodes, please visit happyjacks.org/Yuma Station for this show. Or if you want to catch up on anything of the other APs or the advice show, please just go to the Happy Jacks network at happyjacks.org/shows. Before we sign off, does anyone else have anything they would like to mention, promote, talk about?
Nope.
All right. That's right, because we're exciting. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you out there.
Bye,
Bye
everybody.
for now.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.